Even when you lost, there's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Welcome to another day of the BSL. I am Nyokan, and joining me this time around is Snipe. What's going on, man?
Hey, Nyokan, glad to be here. Excited for some Bombastic Starleague action. South American finals today, right? We have NbA versus TerrOr and Dandy versus the winner, so we're looking forward to a couple of very good matchups. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is about as good of a finals as you're going to get. I was a bit surprised to see TerrOr get knocked down in the loser's bracket, but he's all the way into the finals of the loser's bracket. And going up against NbA, it's going to be a tough match for him, but we still have the dream scenario for me, which is Dandy versus TerrOr in the finals. I remember back into previous BSL on Gold Rush in particular, they had an epic game. So even though I am kind of on the fence about watching Terran versus Terran, when we've got Dandy versus TerrOr potentially, I'm okay if that actually unfolds.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's probably the favorite to happen here. I mean, NbA is no slouch, as you said. He was in Gosu League and Pro League last season, I believe. Just how it worked out. And he did go to the round of 4 in Gosu League, where he almost made it to the finals. So very strong player. You know he can bring it, but I think when TerrOr's on the top of his game, no one can really compete with him there. I mean, we've seen it. He's got a BSL Pro League victory in himself, as does Dandy, but Dandy's was a little bit longer ago.
Yeah, if we look at the bracket which just appeared on the screen, you can actually see that TerrOr actually got knocked down by NbA. So NbA does have the potential to knock down TerrOr. However, I do have to point out, TerrOr was ahead in both of those games. He got caught by an attack on Sylphid and then got caught by a counterattack on Overwatch. And in the end, NbA reigns supreme. But I think TerrOr's aware that he kind of just messed up a little bit. And I think he's going to be a little bit cleaner this time around. And NbA is going to have a much tougher time. This time around, it's also best of 5. So going to have a few more games to play. NbA's got great macro, but I was watching TerrOr today. He was streaming earlier, and he looks as deadly as ever. We're looking at the profiles, as you mentioned. NbA does pretty well in Gosu League every single season. Meanwhile, TerrOr in Pro League, you can see winner in Season 12, second place in Season 11. Didn't get where he wanted in Season 13, but he's always a force to be reckoned with in the BSL. Now, have you seen either of these players face off versus each other?
No, at least nothing that comes to recent memory. They might be playing each other a little bit more just because they're both from South America, and both, as you can see, are actually in NAS clan. NbA did join NAS recently here, last month or two. Is going to be playing in BWCL, I think, as well. But yeah, I still have to give this to TerrOr, but I would not be surprised to see NbA take some games here. I would like to see him maybe bring something a little bit unique, something to try and catch TerrOr off guard and really press some kind of advantage to take a game.
Yeah, there are some openers that NbA could potentially take advantage of. We know TerrOr likes to do the fact 3-tank push out. If he goes something like a delayed DT, that could shut it down instantly. We'll see what NbA comes up with, though. They've decided that the first map is going to be Vermeer. So let's get into the first game of our final series in the losers bracket, NbA versus TerrOr. All right, in the top left, our red Protoss, it is NbA.
All right, and in the top right, it is our blue Terran, Loot Boy, also known as TerrOr. Yeah, Vermeer, I mean, pretty solid map. I mean, this map, fairly standardish as the way maps go. I heard that this map was actually worked on in conjunction with some of the pros to try and make it balanced for 3 races. I did see that the balance there at the beginning was slightly here in Terran's favor, 9-7, but that could just be a couple of games either way. So it does look like it is shaping up to be somewhat of a balanced map here in this matchup.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the new Polypoid once it gets into the ladder pool. I think this is a very good balanced map. I'm sure if there is any imbalances, somebody will figure out counters, or the map will be tweaked in some way. We've got close 3 bases actually for Terran, so I think that's a good map for Terran. Any map that has a close 3 bases where you don't even have to move, I think it's going to be great for Terran. We do see NbA not going for anything unusual, just Pylon in the main, Gateway in the main, and TerrOr, he is going to go for racks in his main, and I've seen him consistently go for gas follow-up, but that doesn't always mean it's going to be straight factory. He's actually been mixing in a lot of somewhat delayed command center and delayed factory builds.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that, see when he takes the gas, if he goes to take it. He hasn't taken it yet, which does lead me to think he might want to be going for a little bit. Okay, it is just going to be a slightly later gas there. There are some builds where you can just mine a bit of gas before getting your command center, so we'll see if he goes for something like that. The scouts will cross here in the middle of the map, so each player is going to know where the other is. And so far here on NbA's side, nothing out of the ordinary. He is going to get his core up, going to start mining his own gas, and we'll see what kind of tech or path he wants to take from there.
Ooh, SCV on the ramp, and whenever you're facing someone like TerrOr, alarm bells gotta be going off, because we know this guy can do it all. You really need to scout versus him, so I wonder what NbA's thinking right now. Is he thinking, okay, maybe this is 10-10-10 or something? He's able to sneak in, and that's critical for him. He's gonna see, oh, actually, you've only got 1 on gas, so this is going to be the delayed command center, delayed factory follow-up, and we'll see how NbA wants to respond.
Yeah, player of NbA's caliber probably will have realized, okay, he only had 1 on gas, no factory started yet, so that he should realize this is going to be most likely command center build, unless TerrOr's trying to be a little bit tricky, maybe delay his factories or something like that. But as we can see, nothing like that has happened just yet, and the SCV is coming down to the natural layer now to start that command center for TerrOr.
Yep, command center going down. You can see Loot Boy, he's approaching 100 gas, so factory's going to be coming down around like 315. I was watching his stream and paying close attention to the game timer when he opened like this. Meanwhile, still no Nexus for NbA. He is getting range, so this is kind of the older style of play. A lot of Protoss players are skipping range these days, rushing Robo, or just rushing into a second gate quickly, and are using that extra 150 minerals that they get to build a second gate. I'm trying to think back to the last time we saw NbA. I think it was on Sylphid the other day, and he actually followed up with a delayed Citadel. Didn't have success with it, but we may get to see that again. Oh, he's proxying. I just realized that.
Yeah, we got a proxy gateway. Now, is TerrOr going to catch wind of this? He did have that scout alive for a bit of time, but this could still be something like an old school, something like a 28 Nexus or something, right? He doesn't necessarily know now. If he was paying attention, he's like, okay, your third pylon seems like, where is it, right? And maybe he can catch wind, like, okay, there's some kind of a proxy or something aggressive going on here. And I kind of like this from NbA, trying to take an early aggressive win here against TerrOr. And if TerrOr doesn't scout it, he could be in trouble.
Oh, that's great. And actually, that's huge, because yesterday Tech did this to TerrOr. The exact same thing, exact same positioning. Well, no, actually, it was Proxy Citadel, but he still proxied something. And this time around, TerrOr's not going to find it, whereas yesterday he did instantly find it. So he's going to have to be on top of his game. And when you go for a delayed factory like this, your tank count, it's going to be really tiny. I really do expect 1 tank, and that's it. And probably 6 goons on his doorstep, and NbA might just jump on it. Also, I'm looking at the Sim City here. Not really a lot of surface or a lot of area for the tank to retreat. You can see the tiny gap between the command center and the barracks, and I'm just thinking, I know Terran units. I'm pretty sure it's going to bug out when he tries to retreat versus these 6 goons.
Yeah, and it does look like he's just holding a couple of these Dragoons back here, not wanting to reveal that there are extra gateways out here, because of course this still looks normal to TerrOr, right? 3 Dragoons coming at the normal time, but we'll see when he wants to go for that pounce. Here comes the tank. Now, is he going to pounce? That bunker was getting quite low. No pounce just yet, but once he gets a couple more Dragoons, I think he's going to go in there. And is TerrOr going to be able to hold this? I'm getting a bit worried for him.
Yeah, siege mode is coming in. I think it could also be mines, since he's queuing up multiple tanks. If this is mines, I think TerrOr might just outright die to a run, an incoming goon attack. If it's siege mode, I think he holds. He's got 8 goons now. If there's any time to go, this is the moment. You can see he's in the process of building a turret also. 3 tanks pop out. Here comes NbA.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Dives right on top of that. Can TerrOr pull enough SCVs? I think he's just going to die here. Nice couple of snipes on those Dragoons. He does snipe one of these tanks. Is this going to be enough here? Can TerrOr hold this back to get enough tanks out? I don't know. Siege mode is not on the way.
Oh, all those goons connect. That is Artosis luck right there. Tank falls. He has 1 tank left. Command center has got to be lifted. Look at that SCV to probe count too. It's not like NbA was cutting. He's got good eco. He's got a Nexus coming up. Zealots moving in. You know that they can soak up a ton of hits. Full SCV pull. There's not a lot of DPS here for TerrOr, so it's going to take him a long time to clean this up. Even though I think he will hold, the SCV losses are mounting up.
Yeah, is this going to be enough? Like you said, those Zealots, great job to tank some mines now coming down. So with the mines, if NbA decides to push up there, he could lose some units, but I don't think he really needs to. He's just going to deny the mining here for a long time, kill some SCVs. And, okay, siege mode is done here. Oh, he picks off that one last tank there in the last second. Will he get this other one? I don't know. The repair is good. I think he's going to hold it here.
Oh, he needs to kill those vultures, actually. They're dealing so much damage to that zealot that was on top of the tank. Just barely. He's able to take the tank down, but I think the damage is done. It's 25 probes to 19 SCVs. Nexus is done now. I realize the 2 gates are up across the map, but TerrOr has absolutely no pressure. He has no eco either.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like he hasn't started mining there at the natural, so maybe the Nexus isn't quite done yet, or he just doesn't trust. Okay, yeah, Nexus just finishing up now, so I mean, TerrOr maybe has a little bit of a chance. I mean, TerrOr can kind of sit back, defend for a while, get a group of units and push out again. We'll have to see where NbA wants to play from here. We did see a Robo. We'll see, does he want to go into a Reaver? Is this just going to be for Observer? What do you think?
I think it's... I think he's done enough damage where he doesn't necessarily need to go Reaver to stop an incoming push. However, I have seen games where TerrOr, he knows that he needs to get damage done, so he'll go for a push anyways. We see that NbA is actually going to go for a third base. I think this is a smart move. I'd really like to see Observer. Damn, that's still so many units, dude. There's 3 Zealots. There's like 8 Goons.
Shuttle.
We've got a Shuttle. And this is the way NbA won in the first series, is he did go for a Shuttle Bomb.
Yeah, this could be effective. Now, we do have a tank starting to shell away here. Oh, units are going in. He's not going to wait for that shuttle. He thinks he needs to pounce now with one of those tanks maybe out of position here. Zealot's going to do a great job soaking up those mines, but is this going to be enough here? That tank on the high ground getting a lot of damage. More mines being placed down here. Dragoon, oh, nice drag, blowing up so many mines, but it looks like NbA is going to have to back out for now. I don't know. Maybe that was a little bit too soon. I still think NBA's got a great shot here, though.
Yeah, that was still worth. You can see it reflected in the probe to SCV count, 35 to 26. Huge worker lead for Protoss. And of course, TerrOr has no idea what's going on behind it. That's got to be an academy, I imagine. Or it could be an armory also, if he's just decided that he's going to accept whatever NbA is going to go for and just try and camp it out with 2-1. And we know that this is Robo follow-up. We still don't know if it's Observer or Reaver. Okay, there it is. It's Observer. So he's just going to go for that fast third base and just really scale his econ. And there's really nothing TerrOr can do. We've got a Vulture run by, but 2 of them get picked off.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get any scouting done. This is going to force NbA to pull a Dragoon back here. He is going to be able to block this off at least and stop TerrOr from getting in there, getting a bunch of probe kills. But he will get down here, see the third Nexus hasn't quite done. Will he get that probe? Yes, he will pick off the probe, but not before the Nexus has been thrown down anyways. So, not the end of the world, but at least he kind of has an idea what he's facing now.
Yeah, that's true. He at least finds the third base, so he knows it's not something like 2-base Stargate follow-up or something insane like that. He did go into the armory, still no academy, still no scans, so he's, technically still in the dark, but you can kind of figure out as Terran what's going on simply by seeing that additional pylon at the third base. Another turret coming up because TerrOr knows that, hey, I lost to a bust with Shuttle last time. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen this time around. The problem for him is, he's already kind of low eco. Building these extra turrets really hurts his mid-game power spike. We see 5 gates coming in. We see Citadel coming in too. Almost every single vulture dies. He's gonna unload these zealots. He saw the spider mine, tries to drag it in, doesn't get a connection, but that was a nice try from NbA.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, so far, TerrOr has done a pretty good job holding these additional attacks. He has killed off those gateways, and looking at the worker count, he's not that far behind, all things considered. No third Nexus, so I tell you what, if TerrOr can keep holding on here a little bit longer, doesn't die to any kind of follow-up here, maybe there's a way back in this game for him.
That is true. 45 workers to 38. He finally scans the gateway, sees it's 6 gates, sees the Templar Archive timing. Here comes another shuttle bomb. Okay, he gets a tank. I don't know if that was worth. He loses 3 zealots and a shuttle in the process, but he at least does take down 1 tank. Command center being built. I don't see a starport anywhere, so he needs to start that pretty soon, otherwise he's going to miss his +2 timing. But he is getting into position to secure that 3rd base.
Yeah, still looking like he's not going to be able to be broken here from NbA, right? I don't know if the Zealot leg speed is done quite yet, either if you wanted to try and go for another kind of a bus play, but he's really well defended from the air and shuttles as well. He's got turrets everywhere. He's got a couple of Goliath tanks pushing out here. We did see a 3rd command center started, so if he can get that 3rd base up and running here, it's a close base, it's kind of defendable. I don't know. I still think TerrOr has a real shot here.
I think he needs to have the first engagement go favorably for him, and then it will kind of even out the game. For now, NbA, I would say, has a pretty decent lead. He's up 40 supply. He's going to have +1 weapon, slightly behind the +1 weapon of Terran, but that's fine. Stargate coming in. Arbiter Tribunal is going to be coming in pretty soon, but we are going to have the 3rd gas kicking in for TerrOr pretty soon once that 3rd base gets up. NbA going to take his 4th base now.
Yeah, getting ready to take that 4th Nexus. As you said, that we do see that starport now coming in here for TerrOr, so he's going to get that up so he can start continuing on his upgrades, another armory, so he can start 2-1. Timing's going to be a little bit slow on that to start +2 right away, but now here comes maybe the move here. If he can bust, this is going to be a critical moment, I feel, for both players. If he can bust through all these tanks, there's not a lot to buffer here. I think this may be the moment before TerrOr has a lot of vultures out here. And here he goes. Will this be enough? He's getting zealots on top of tanks. I think this is going to be enough.
Yep, this is done. There's no vulture support. There's no mines. There's no anything to support these tanks. Every single tank is going to fall, except for maybe the ones at the natural. 3rd base is going to be breached. And if the 3rd base gets lifted like that, NbA is really going to start running away with it. He still hasn't built his 4th Nexus yet, but as soon as that gets plopped down, he's got good probe count. He'll be able to saturate the 4th base pretty soon and then really, really shoot up in supply. We can see it's 110 to just 67. No critical mass tanks anymore. It is going to be so hard for TerrOr to ever get outside of this contain.
Yeah, more zealots now streaming in, getting on top of these last couple of tanks here in the natural. There are a couple on the high ground, but they're going to be out of range here once these Dragoons and zealots move up towards the command center here. SCV's more starting to fall. I don't know, this could be the end here. TerrOr has fought valiantly. He keeps defending. A couple more tanks do pop out at the right moment to kind of hold on here and defend for now, but damage is just done. Like, NbA is just getting further and further ahead. He still hasn't started that 4th Nexus like you had there, but this is just too much. You can't have your tank count reset this many times and really hope to keep pace here with Protoss.
Yeah, exactly. The gateway count is probably like 8 or something right now, maybe 10. Arbiter is coming. We see that +2 did start for TerrOr, so if he somehow stabilizes the game, he'll at least have the powerful upgrades coming in. But it's a 40 supply lead, and Terran only has 60 supply total. This is such a dire situation for TerrOr. We're approaching 17 minutes also, where bases start to get mined out. So even though he has a 3rd base, he's got to lift again, and he may be just mining out within the next couple minutes.
Yeah, and this 40 supply is a bigger 40 supply than the one before, right? And that just shows how Protoss is just getting further and further ahead here a little bit. We actually do have a 4th Nexus thrown down, but not where it looked like he was originally going to take it there. Just continue to expand downward. Probe's still up there. Vulture going to scout around, see that, but I don't think that's enough. Like, what can TerrOr do if he wants to stay in this game? He can only defend and turtle up, and by that time, NbA is just going to have run away with the game.
Yeah, I would say luckily for TerrOr, NbA is going Arbiter. If there were carriers here, I don't see how you can ever afford to go tanks and vultures and Goliaths to try and counter kind of carriers on such low eco. We see a drop coming in. That may be one of the reasons NbA didn't want to take this fourth base, maybe fearful of drop harassment. But his fourth base is up at bottom left. I think that is a probe transfer to bottom left. The +2 power spike finally about to kick in for TerrOr. He's finally going to land his third base, but he's still down 40 supply.
Yeah, we'll see if that drop gets anything done, and it's going to have to do a lot if TerrOr wants to continue in this game. He needs to kill like a full-on probe line or something just to kind of even out the worker count alone, but we'll see. He's going to drop into the main, going to see that Arbiter, know that it's out there in the timing. A couple vultures do get out, but I don't think he's going to find the kills he's looking for here.
What do you think about that cannon, man? You see it at the top left? What is that? What does that defend?
That is the 16-minute drop defense. Look, it's working perfectly.
Yeah, this was a calculated move, calculated cannon placement. Dropship manages to get away with the entirety of the 2 vultures and the single tank, but TerrOr's still down 50 supply. He does, I guess, identify the Arbiter, so he should be able to get turrets up in time, but I actually don't think this is a recall Arbiter. I think this is going to be a stasis Arbiter and try and just whittle down the tank count for the 3rd time.
Yeah, I mean, looking at supplies, once again, this is a 40 supply difference here. And we got to remember, like, about 20 supply or 16 supply of that is workers, too. So the army size, I mean, it can kind of fight off. You wouldn't really want to be aggressive with it, but the army for TerrOr can kind of defend still. Now, Arbiters will definitely change that math, but without the Arbiter, like, straight up, I don't think NbA can bust in here yet.
I like what TerrOr's doing with this drop. He's going to go bottom middle and then hook around to the left side. If he can unload that tank and 2 vultures on the high ground and shut down the 4th base, this could be a way to kind of even up the eco difference. I mean, there's a lot of probes there. He doesn't necessarily have to kill it. He just needs to shut it down, and then he needs to hold this attack. If he can do both of those things, I could see a comeback for him. But if he's not able to do either of them, he's going to be in big time trouble. We see 5th base going up at top left, 6th base going at bottom left. So NbA really ramping up his base count. But TerrOr's, I mean, he's still down 50 supply, but at least TerrOr can win a fight 130 supply versus 180. Oh no, you can't unload there!
Oh. Dropship goes down. Cannon, tank does get out, but the cannons kill it off before it can do any real damage there. So not getting what he's looking for here once again, and NbA just kind of positioning army here out in the map for if TerrOr ever moves out, he can kind of enclose in on it. He doesn't have to engage if he doesn't want to, maybe waiting for a recall or a couple of stasises before he moves in here. We'll have to see what his plan is, but for now, he's just going to continue to take bases, take a position out here, and there's nothing TerrOr can really do to stop him.
One of the things that makes Vermeer difficult is you can't build turrets very far forward. Like those mines that you see right there, I'm pretty sure there's not buildable terrain. So like, he can lay mines, but he can't necessarily build turrets there. So the Arbiter just still has free reign to come in and lay down a stasis. Now that's a great pickoff. He's going to kill a shuttle full of Templars, which probably had full energy, even picks up an observer. So that's fantastic. And all of a sudden, it's 150 supply to 170. I realize NbA still at a big advantage, but +3 is halfway done. NbA does not have this super bank of, like 3K, 4K, 5K, where he's also flooding millions of gateways bottom left. I mean, like I said, if TerrOr can hold an attack, he can somehow get a 4th base and slowly bring the game back.
Yeah, this has almost been like kind of surprising, or I'm impressed with how well TerrOr has held off wave after wave and fought in this game despite being at such a disadvantage early on, right? It does make me a little bit nervous for NbA moving forward in the series, but in this game, like you said, I still feel like NbA's favorite here, but TerrOr still got a shot. He's sticking with it and staying in this game.
Yeah, I think TerrOr needs to build a couple more vessels. There's one more. He needs to get up to Gypsy level of vessels, like 3 or 4. If he can blanket EMP all the Arbiters, like the entire army, well, TerrOr will absolutely obliterate Protoss with +3 and no shields. Oh, hallucination!
I love it. Love to see it. All right, NbA bringing out some of these pimpest plays here. Don't see that every day. It's always cool when you get to see it. We'll see if this works here. Of course, got that Arbiter, the actual Arbiter in behind. We'll see if he can fly into the main here. I think that's going to be his target. Not a lot of turrets here to tank this anyway. Yeah, he is going to get this Arbiter in here. Will I get an EMP off? Oh, recall does get off now. It wasn't the biggest recall ever, but still decent size here. Stasis going down on those tanks as well.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Focusing the armories, and +3 is about to complete too. Look at that clutch.
Will he finish it? Yes, nice
He gets
pick
both
off.
of them.
Or does +2 armor or +3 armor finish there? +2 probably. Oh, that was so close. I don't know if it finished. I feel like it didn't.
Oh, he did not. And that is painful. As Terran +3 is a huge upgrade. Now he's got to scramble to rebuild those upgrades to NbA. He's on 6 bases now. Look at that Nat. Mined out, basically. Main, mined out. Terra's on literally 1 base with absolutely no map control at all. He needs to push and take that 4th base. Here he comes. Those are isolated tanks, so defensive matrix on the top. Where's the EMP? He needs EMPs. Those are great storms.
Oh, yeah, like you said, nice D matrix, but it's not going to be enough, I feel like. Even if he kills off this army, it looks like NbA is going to retreat. He just lost all those tanks, and on 1 base, mining is just going to be so much harder to replace any army. We do see a command center floating there trying to take 12 o'clock, but is he going to be able to hold on and take that? I mean, I would normally say no, but the way TerrOr's been fighting this game, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he may be able to hold this. If you look at the terrain of Vermeer, you can sit on the high ground right there, and obviously that's a huge advantage for Terran, but Protoss has a remassed army again, and Terran's not siege. There's no mines either. I think NbA could overwhelm this army. That's a fantastic storm. Units coming in from the back from Terra, but they're going to be attacking uphill into goons, into zealots. All the tanks are going to explode at the top side. Zealot tries to drag a mine into the bottom tanks. I think this is done. I think we're going to see the GG in just a second. All the tanks are going to get wiped again. All the vessels were also cleaned up by the goons.
Yeah, very nice attack here. Follow up from NbA, catching those tanks out of position, not sieged up here. Looks like Terror's still going to fight on. It looks like he's maybe going to have enough to defend, hold this off with reinforcements. But no, GG is called. So, wow, what a game 1, right? It looked like NbA just had that game pretty much from the start. But I was so impressed with how Terror just kept fighting in that game, staying in that game. I don't know, man. I'm a little bit worried for NbA. Despite him winning that game, Terror just looked really strong, even in a loss there. But NbA is up 1-0, so congrats to him.
Yeah, NbA proving that the winner's bracket defeat of TerrOr was not a fluke. He goes up 1-0 in the series. I gotta say, when you play that type of style where it's technically, well, you know, it's command center first, but I realize it's a pretty fast factory follow-up. If you don't go for siege mode like that, if you play like Light likes to do, where you delay siege as long as possible, you can see what happens. You can easily lose all your tanks in the beginning to goon control or a goon bust like that. I think it's a greedy move to do that, and it was a nice counterplay from NbA. So now game 2, I think Terra's got to be wary of that. I don't think we're going to see the same opener. I think that would be pretty cocky, actually, to try that again, but we'll see what he wants to go with. Now, thinking about maps, what do you think Terra's going to pick here?
I am actually don't even know the full-on map pool, so I've been following StarCraft too much, but something Terran favorite.
Something Terran favorite? Okay, well, I'll tell you. We've got Overwatch, we've got Butter, we've got Sylphid, Gladiator, and what's the and Monopoly. So out of those, I think the most Terran favorite, I would say, is Monopoly. You can take 4 bases, but you know, it's not a ladder map. It's not a map that was ever in the ladder pool. It's kind of newish. So you start thinking like, okay, well, how many times has Terra actually played this? I think we're probably going to see Overwatch, simply because NbA doesn't strike me as a carrier guy. And if you're not going to go carriers on Overwatch, I think this is a great Terran map.
I definitely agree with you there. Monopoly can be very hard for Protoss if you don't go carriers as well. Just those tight chokes. There's so many places that Terran can just kind of sit up and just the Protoss army gets too bunched, too clumped together, unless they go carriers, like you said. So I would expect one of those 2 maps as well. Well, I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, we will have to see. As we're getting a look at the bracket, you can see that in the finals, Dandy is waiting, and we may have a repeat of the upper bracket finals. It's if NbA continues to get wins here. Remember, it's best of 5, so TerrOr does have, he can throw the first game, but after this, he needs to win. Otherwise, it's going to be 2-0, and it will be very hard to recover from that scenario. Now, you cast Ghostly League. You're the main Ghostly League caster. NbA, I mean, he's kind of, I would say, newish to Pro League. Is there any other, like, Ghostly Leaguers that you've seen where you think, like, okay, this guy, if he gets to Pro League, he could make a splash? NbA is doing very well so far in Pro League.
Yeah, there's been a few. I mean, there's always some Ghostly League players, too, that have played in Pro League before. Like, for example, Dragon was in, he won Ghostly League last season, but he's like a Pro League staple most of the time, right? Players like that, or like Jaeyoon, these kind of players. For players that may be up and coming or something, I've seen a couple players, like I think PTAC made it into Pro League one season after being a Ghostly League staple. NbA here could be considered another one.
Yeah, if Dragon and Jaeyoon are making Ghostly League, you know that Pro League is super stacked, or Dragon and Jaeyoon are sandbagging a little bit. I agree. I think that Patak is a good choice. We've seen him in Pro League, I think, twice now. He's a good Zerg player. Oh, I forgot a lot about Longinus. So we are actually going to go into probably my favorite TVP map. Got the quadruple gas if you can take the far third base. Let's get into Game 2 between NbA and TerrOr. See if NbA can go up 2-0.
Yeah, well, it's like about 50-50 on this map here. So we'll have to see.
Right, in the top left, our red Protoss, it's NbA.
All right, and in the bottom here, it is our blue Terran TerrOr. I do have a little bit of a story I guess I could share about this map. I was at the Zotac Cup and got to talking to Draco or something while he was there. And for those who don't know, famous Polish player, he played in Korea for a while. And he said, he had mentioned that Longinus was one of his favorite maps. He wanted to see it in the map pool before kind of StarCraft Remastered came out. He's like, I think we need a Protoss favorite map. And he's like, I think Longinus would be a good Protoss favorite map for that map pool.
Really? I think this map is Terran favorite these days, but because Draco's an old school player, I could see him saying that, because back then people were walling their entrance, like actually just walling their main, and 10-15 was a hard build to deal with. Like, it's just so many goons and you literally have one tank with a wall. It's like, well, how do you push this back without just slowly creeping forward while Protoss, takes full map control with so many goons and then takes so many bases. So I could see the comment for that. I did play the Walt on here in Okay, Zero's mentioning to us that Protoss was good versus Zerg on this map, so this could be another reason Draco said that. But I did play DeWalt here, and one thing, even though 4 gas is amazing for Terran, when I played DeWalt, I scanned him and I saw he only had 2 Stargates. I was like, oh, I'm actually just going to go win. And what I didn't know was he had 4 more Stargates at top middle, so the 2 carriers turned into 6, turned into 12 real fast.
When you're not expecting something like that, catches you off guard, it's very hard to fight against. We'll see if something like that happens in this game or not. So far, it looks like pretty standard opening coming from both sides. Does look like TerrOr is mining gas with 3 SCVs this time, so it's going to be a slightly different build. Maybe going to open up with that factory here first before going for the command center. So maybe factory expand. We'll have the option to go for 2 factory, which you mentioned he does like to go for. So I'm interested to see if he will do that this game.
Well, he's got 2 on gas. Okay, he's pulled off right now. And I do like how NbA is hiding a pylon. As a Terran player, you're in full-on panic mode when, first off, the Protoss is hiding a pylon, and then also the probe hasn't shown itself right now. And you don't see range right now. So in Terran's mind, you're thinking, okay, am I getting DT cheesed right now? Is this upgrade on the cybernetics just a fake? Is it actually just weapon? Because, you can see right here, he's looking all over the place for that pylon.
Yeah, and just to add to that a little bit too is the fact that he did get cheese last game, right? He did have those proxy gateways, so that's still going to be fresh in his mind, right? He's going to be worrying about that even more. So very nice little mind game here from NbA, just make TerrOr sweat it out a little bit more. Also gives him the option to do any kind of pro drills if TerrOr wanted to try something like a BBS or something cheeky like that to try and get a quick win here. Now, yeah, we can even see Marine going out here on the map looking for a proxy.
Well, he's going to try and get some intel, but he doesn't see anything. And this is actually going to be an FD. That probe is dead in the water. He did not get to see that 4th Marine get pumped out either. So he's unsure what this actually is. This is... You're a Terran player, right?
Me? I'm a Protoss player.
Oh, you're a Protoss player. Okay, you're a Protoss player. So let's imagine you're in this scenario, right? Like, you're kind of showing like you've hidden something. Would you ever expect an FD? Because as a Terran, I don't think I would move out with 6 Marines and a tank into potentially a DT play, because DT just kills everything almost in one shot.
No, not usually. Like, in general, I don't really expect FDs much anymore. I rarely run into them even on ladder. It's mostly fallen out of favor as a build, I would say. I do see it occasionally, and it can catch me off guard, or, you know, if I'm trying to cut Dragoons for a quicker Nexus or something. But I can't see NbA expecting to have a push at this timing coming his way, so we'll see if TerrOr can get something done with it.
Yep, first Vulture is coming out. His mine upgrade is about to finish. Is this going to be a defensive FD? I guess it could be. Defensive mines being set up, because everything really does look like it's going to be hidden DT tech. He never found the pylon, and I guess that is what it's going to be. I think this is a pretty smart move to not move out, because if you move out into DTs, first off, all those Marines are dead, and second off, the DTs are probably going to be able to avoid being hit by the mines. So I love the defensive mines already set up. Comes in, sees the 4 goons, so now it can't be actual DT play, and now maybe... Oh,
will he get it?
He does.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a risk there, but NbA's on top of it, does pick off that mine, so nice play. No, I'm not surprised to see Vulture still kind of scouting around to see if he could find that hidden pylon or anything, just so he knows where it is at least. Like, you can still see Vulture checking everywhere out, fresh from that proxy last game, knowing that there was a pylon missing. So he's just going to see if he can find that and check and find out what's up. But otherwise, things looking pretty standard, straight forward here from both sides, really.
Yeah, we've got 3-gate follow-up with Observer, so this is pretty normal, somewhat defensive from Terran. I think it's okay versus TerrOr because he's known to play quite aggressive. He's also known to go for drops. You can see that's why NbA is moving his goons into position. But we see TerrOr. He's just sitting back, building his turrets up. He's got 6-minute armory coming in, 2nd factory coming in. So I think we're just going to get into a kind of a long, drawn-out game here. Just go into a standard mid and late game.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this one goes. Being more, a game where no one really has that edge or really strong early advantage like we saw last game. Because we saw TerrOr just continue to fight on, fight back, defend and hold off all of NbA's advances. Now the game is even here, so is TerrOr just going to be able to run across the map, or does NbA have something a little bit special planned? He hasn't taken a 3rd base yet, no 2nd gas either. I wondered if maybe he was going to go for some kind of a 2-base tech like fast arbiter or carrier or something like that, but still nothing showing that that's what he wants to go for.
I think we're just going to keep seeing him go for this Goon Zealot shuttle play until it doesn't work, because every single game he played versus TerrOr so far, he's done it, and it's gotten a victory for him. So why change? If TerrOr is going to sit out in the middle of the map with little anti-air, completely out of position, not a lot of mines, you might as well continue to go for it. I think this time around, TerrOr has probably learned his lesson, and I don't expect him to be out near his 3rd base without Goliath, for example. Instead, I think he's just going to sit here behind that terrain in his main. We see that the Vulture gets cleared out. Probe is going to go over there and plop down an Nexus.
Yeah, alright. Zealot's getting loaded up into that shuttle. So, once again, if TerrOr was going to go for a push, NbA would be able to kind of help defend that with that shuttle. And Zealots doesn't look like TerrOr's Okay, as I say that, he is gearing up with 2 more factories here. This does give him the option to push if he wants, but he could be just sitting defensively to take a third behind this, because that third base is maybe a little bit more open. Might feel he needs those extra factories to kind of help hold that position.
Yeah, TerrOr's gonna sit here. Oh, maybe he won't. And the reason I say that is because he never scanned the NAT. So he doesn't know if there's gas, but the fact that the Citadel is kind of late, 8:15, he should know that, okay, you powered a lot of units, you really skimped out on your tech. But if he had scanned the NAT, for sure he would 100% sit at the third base and never make a move and just let Protoss max out on Gateway Man. That's an on-location third base. But this is what I was talking about, Snipe. Look how far forward those tanks are. I mean, 1 turret's okay, but it's not a lot of anti-air. Zealots don't care about 1 turret. Here he comes, and this is the moment that NbA is looking for. It's 6 tanks, 3 vultures. That's it.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like the factories aren't producing anything, so there's going to be no more vultures here to buffer by the time these Dragoons get down. Maybe there's a chance here NbA can bust in, right? Drop on these tanks and get in there. We'll see if he goes for it or not. He's kind of just positioned himself out here. Now, there is that bunker finishing up. That's a little bit more anti-air. It's going to be harder for that shuttle to drop out all those Zealots now. So I think TerrOr's probably going to have enough to defend, but NbA could still try and poking at that command center there. It is far enough away from some of those tanks. He could pick a couple off and do some damage.
Yeah, now that the bunker's set up, NbA's kind of missed his window. He may think he has one now that the vultures ran across the map, but he actually does not. The observer's going to spot that he does not. He may come in here and kind of just be annoying, but this is not going to be a committal, I think. Oh, maybe it will be with the tank just barely out of range. He's going to focus that down. Look how much damage he has. You got to cancel that terror. Don't let it complete. That's dead. It's dead.
Oh, no. Wow. Yeah, nice pickoff there from NbA. I wondered if he could get there out of range of that tank or not. Yeah, it looks like he could. So nice play from NbA, realizing he could get in there and snipe that command center. That's really going to set TerrOr back here and give NbA a bit of an advantage in this game.
Okay. NbA, you need to build like 5 more probes, get to that 60 count, and then you need to gateway flood because TerrOr could be all-inning as a follow-up. We see that NbA or TerrOr does scan third base. He sees there's nothing there. He's aware that the top middle base has been taken. He's going to actually try and continue to camp. He's very lucky again, I would say, that Protoss is not going carriers. He's just going arbiter, so you can afford to just continue to sit here. But that was an amazing pickoff from NbA. It gives him another 40 supply lead, just like last game.
Yeah, we'll see if he can take that to his advantage here and keep it going and eventually win this game. But still some StarCraft left to be played here. He is kind of positioned outside that third base. Looks like he wants to maybe dive in there. I don't think that would be a good idea at this time, but Scan goes down, sees the timing of that Arbiter Tribunal, so he's going to know pretty much exactly when that first Arbiter can come out and when that first Stasis or Recall could happen as well. So nice Scan timing from TerrOr.
Yeah, 4th Nexus coming down. Remember, Longinus has the double gas at top middle, so he's got a ton of gas income. I want to see more Stargates from NbA. 1, not enough. At least 2, I would prefer 3, because you can really just pump out the Arbiters real quick. And Terran is very scared of 3, 4, 5 Arbiters, and not too worried about just 1. We see the first vessel being produced. At least the armory, didn't get canceled. He's still going to have his 2-1 upgrade, but TerrOr not in a great position. However, I would say NbA seems to be slow on the gun to take bases a little bit. He's still got the 45 supply lead, though.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. We saw that last game, too. He kind of maybe took his additional bases up a little bit slower than he could have, but didn't punish him any. He was still able to fight in that game, take it down in the end. We'll see here. Now, we do have factories being added on here for TerrOr, really going to get that macro engine going. He does have a pretty good tank count here. I think he's just going to kind of sit back, wait till his moment here. 2-1 is done, and enough units that he feels comfortable pushing out here. If he wants to go for that push, but he can't wait too long and allow NbA all the time in the world here.
All right. Well, since you're a Protoss player, let me ask you this: imagine you've got arbiters. Okay, is there anything you're looking for that tells you like, okay, I'm gonna recall this guy, or okay, this is not a recall game, I'm gonna go stasis? Is there anything you're looking for that sways your decision one way or the other?
Depends on the situation. A lot of time might be, okay, how far away are the units from the main base if I'm going to go for like a main base recall, or third if I want to go for some kind of a third recall. It's like, or look for that timing when Terran wants to kind of push out, or do I have enough of an advantage that if I do this recall, it gets cleaned up easily. I'm not going to be in a position where Terran's going to be able to push across the map and just straight up kill me, right? So these are some kind of little things you can look for here. You definitely want to see, am I going to recall on top of mines? Are there a lot of turrets in the way? Like, I feel like NbA could go for maybe a recall here in towards that main base, because it's going to be kind of far, that mineral line and everything, from where TerrOr is kind of set up at the moment.
Ooh, what's that Templar doing? He's going in head first. He's just chilling. Oh wow, actually NbA is going for it. I can't believe this is the move he's going for. There were no Templars in that shuttle, but he's gonna try and attack this? I don't know what he saw that I didn't see, but this is not gonna do really any damage. Actually, almost all the goons are out of position. Is this?
Yeah.
It has to be bugged. Is it bugged?
I feel like yeah. Look at all the probes. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I questioned that too, like you're saying. So it does look like it was probably a bugged replay here. Gonna get that going here, restart it again. Yeah, I was questioning, like, why are you attacking in here? I mean, I guess there's not a lot of tanks kind of on that side of the command center. Maybe gonna hope for another CC snipe or something. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, so we are going to be getting back into the game in just a second. I think we were, like 15 minutes or so, something around that. But NbA was approaching max. We can see that TerrOr was catching up in supply, though. And I think 2-1 was about to finish. So this could be an anti-timing for NbA if he actually indeed did go for a bust right there.
Yeah, and for all we know, maybe TerrOr had moved up and started moving across the map when he went for this attack, or maybe this attack just never happened. We'll have to wait and see what catch happens in the replay, but all speculation at this point, I suppose.
Right, well, guys, we are just waiting for the replay to get reset up. And then we will find out what exactly happened. If you're on Longinus and you've got that many bases, or not that many bases, but that many gases, do you like Arbiters or do you like Carriers as the follow-up? We know NbA is going Arbiters here. I'm just asking your opinion. What do you like more?
Well, me personally, I'm more of an Arbiter user, so I would be doing Arbiters, but like you said earlier, he's only on the 1 Stargate. I would go up to 2, maybe even 3 Stargates. More likely like 2 Stargates and mix in a few more Templars as well. Get a lot of Storms and Stasis off. I think Carriers, you can go Carriers. I mean, if you're a Carrier player, it's fine. But yeah, okay, Zero has informed us that the replay is ready, so we're going to jump back in the game here and see what actually happened.
Alright, we're back in it. We can see that TerrOr is posturing to take his 4th base, and here comes NbA. He does not want Terran to get this 4th gas. There were Templars in that shuttle. Let's see if he can hit some clutch storms. That's a great one on top of 5 tanks. 4 tanks at the bottom side. That's 9 tanks at least that are going to fall. The other tanks aren't helping in this fight at all, and I see a command center being built on the right side, so NbA can swoop around with some units and cancel that. Meanwhile, he's starting to take the right side of the map too, so he's going to have 5 Nexuses with 4 gas. NbA still up 40 supply. He just reset the tank count again. This is another fantastic position for him.
Yeah, so now we see what NbA saw. He saw a bunch of tanks kind of free out of position, and he took his opportunity, right? He went for those tanks, cleaned them up, and this is really going to set TerrOr back here once again. Now we have Dragoons picking up that command center. Will he be able to get it in time? He does have a couple SCVs repairing some units coming up here. It looks like TerrOr's going to be able to barely save this base, I think. Yeah, Goons aren't even targeting it down. More units coming in, so TerrOr's going to be able to hold it on to that. That's a little win for him, but whenever those tanks get reset, it's just so hard for Terran to keep fighting back in this game.
Yeah, but these Protoss units cut off the reinforcing tanks. Maybe he's got enough there. That's an Arbiter that's going to die to a turret, so that's a bit of a mistake there. But, oh, that was a clutch D-Matrix right there. Also, clutch defense to hold that secondary attack. More goons streaming in. There's not that many tanks, but just 2 in a bunker should be able to hold on for now. Supplies are getting dangerously close for Protoss, though. He needs to back off. He did a lot of damage, killed a lot of tanks, but he doesn't want to suicide his whole army. Again, this is annoying, but this was not... I think this was still a good trade for TerrOr.
Yeah, it does feel like the initial attack was good there for NbA, but maybe overextending a bit, overstaying his welcome a little bit too much. We'll see if that comes back to bite him. I mean, looking at the supplies here, they're even okay. NbA just shot up a little bit more there, but still, like, supplies are a lot closer than they were before that attack. Is this going to come back to haunt NbA?
This is a great power spike for NbA right now. He's about to hit 2-1-1, which is actually surprisingly strong versus Terran's 2-1. We're at 16 minutes, so it's kind of borderline on whether TerrOr has +3. You can see he just started +3. So 2-1 versus 2-1. Obviously, Terran's still at a favorable upgrade position in terms of, straight up DPS, but Protoss, like I said, 2-1 is surprisingly strong. If he can keep cutting off some of these vultures, he may be able to build up a big enough supply lead that he could barrel down on this third base.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. But TerrOr is getting that double gas going, so that double gas is going to actually help quite a bit in producing more tanks, or Goliaths if he wants to throw a few of those in there too. Doesn't really need too many more than a couple as long as he stays here on the Arbiter tech. But yeah, I mean, TerrOr's got that 4th base, and this is when he's really going to be able to start macroing a bunch of tanks. But hold that thought. There is a group of Dragoons and some Zealots here pushing down, and an Arbiter. Is he going to try and push in here?
I think he's going to go for it. Longinus, it's a good map if you can get the 4th base, but you also have to defend the left side and the right side in this scenario for TerrOr. So actually, there's not the entire army over on the right side, and NbA is aware of that. He's going to move in with his army. Look how much supply is on the left side. That was no stasis just yet. He's waiting for his moment to use the stasis. Meanwhile, there's no Zealots anymore, so these vultures are buffering a lot of damage. The tanks are doing a good job. TerrOr's gonna get his tank count reset on the right side again. Oh my gosh, actually NbA's up 40 supply.
Yeah, at the beginning of that fight, it started looking maybe good for TerrOr, and he was actually ahead of supply there a little bit, but NbA getting a couple of good trades, maybe not enough buffering going on, kills a lot of those tanks. Does get out of there with a few Dragoons too, not overstaying and losing them. He is going to fight a bit on top of this ramp here. Maybe don't want to push in there too much, and going to pick up another tank, then back out. Yeah, that looked like a pretty good trade in the end there for NbA. Supplies still slightly in his favor. He's going to come back in here now, but he's got a reinforcing wave of Zealots. Is this going to be enough? Getting on top of these tanks, picking some of them off. Oh, is this going to be enough?
It's not going to be enough, but he does get another handful of tanks. He does manage to save all those goons again, and he saves the Arbiter. The Arbiter is low health, but it does have almost 100 energy, so it is important to keep that alive. However, supplies are 153 to 149. So TerrOr is catching up in supply. The problem for him is, again, he still has no map presence. He's still not able to even move past his 3rd base, really. And Protoss kind of just hanging out on this high ground, meanwhile taking bases behind.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing he does have going is that double gas, right? He's going to be able to produce maybe more tanks than if there was only one gas there, right? So you can kind of get that tank count back up, build it up, and try and push out again. But in this time, like, it's going to allow NbA to maybe take more bases, set up some more gateways. We can see he's taken another mineral only there on the right side.
Ooh.
Carrier switch incoming here as well.
Yeah, I love it. He needs to get the upgrades, though. You can see he already has +2 shields, but honestly, shields aren't really that important for Protoss carriers, so he does need to get the double upgrades going, which he has just started right now. I wonder if TerrOr has scanned lately. We've got 11 idle probes right there. He really needs to fix that. We've got another big engagement. It's on high ground. That's a good stasis. That's an okay EMP, but Protoss's army is tiny. Another good stasis. There's a lot of goons, though. Again, nothing really to help support the goons, so TerrOr's finally going to get out on the map.
Yeah, this is like the first time in the series we've actually seen TerrOr be able to get out on the map here a little bit. Maybe try and pressure a base. Maybe he can kill off that mineral only. Because the army here for NbA is kind of small. I don't know where his whole army is he does have those carriers being built, but he should have a few more units than this, I would think, at this point in time. Oh, sending all those probes over to that mineral only now does fix that.
He does fix it, but I think those probes are just going to have to be sent somewhere else pretty soon. TerrOr's about to knock down both of these bases. NbA needs to get mid-left up and running because he's about to be just on 2-base mining with top middle and his mineral only. All these probes are... Well, okay, I see he's saving the mineral only probes, but the ones at bottom right, they are not long for this world. Nexus is going to fall. Other Nexus is going to fall. Okay, good. He is taking mid-left.
Yeah, but killing these bases is going to make this back to 4-base on 4-base. 5th base if NbA can get that one up and running, but still that's going to be looking a little bit better here for TerrOr once again, killing off a couple of bases. The one thing he does have to be worried about is those carriers, and I don't know, does he know about them yet? It doesn't seem like he has a lot of Goliaths. I'm not sure if he scanned those just yet or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he scanned them either. We can see +1 weapon is done for the carriers, so it's a decent upgrade, but Terran's at +2 armor, so you really need to get at least a +2 weapon, but that's going to be about 3 minutes from now. However, the carrier count is already 3. If he can get up to 6 or even 9, he's going to start trading really, really well. I didn't see that many Goliaths in the army either. What's that, 5 maybe? So I don't think he actually knows. Okay, it's 9, so it's more than I thought.
A couple more being produced, so maybe he scanned them, didn't see any carriers finished. He does now. He should know now if he's paying attention at that moment at the tail end of that scan. So we'll see, yeah, all switching into all Goliath production here pretty much. So he is aware of that. We'll see if he can fight them off. Like you said, the carrier upgrade's not quite where they want to be just yet, but there's still a little bit of time before he necessarily has to use them to engage. I don't know how far along that upgrade is. Maybe he'll have it before TerrOr can attack.
Well, TerrOr's approaching max, so I'm sure he wants to attack pretty soon. Carrier Arbiter, one of the deadliest combos in the game. Get Storm also, and it's just almost endless AoE comboed with carriers, which just almost never die. Here he comes, though. He's going to try and barrel down on this army. There's not that many Goliaths. I don't think. He needs to split these Arbiters up. No, we got both of them EMP'd.
Wow. Yeah, great EMP there from TerrOr. Looks like he's got his command center land and buddy with that Nexus there, just going to hang out. But here come the carriers now, starting to pick off a couple of these tanks here on the front line. Nexus is going to go down, so it's not going to make too much of a difference, but anything you can kind of kill and force TerrOr to have to spend that extra gas to remake is going to be a win here for the carriers.
Yeah, now, I like to see carriers plus arbiters comboed with recall. This is a map that has a lot of ledges. If you go to the left side as Terran, show your carriers over there, meanwhile have an arbiter on the right side, you can harass the Nat, instantly recall to the right side, and then pick off that command center. That's what I want to see, but I've literally never seen anyone do that before. It is super annoying, and it's very hard to deal with as Terran. Instead, it looks like NbA is going to set up for a big frontal attack here. However, it got scanned, so TerrOr's aware of this, and these carriers are way too far forward. These are heavily upgraded Goliaths too.
Yeah, it does poke in, snipe off that vessel, and then run back, but took a bit of a damage there. Nice D-Matrix, going to keep that tank alive for a little bit longer, but of course it is still going to go down there. That's a lot of carriers getting built up here. I'm not sure, it looks like 6 maybe in the mix now, with a few more surely on the way. Maxed army versus maxed army here. But we got to remember, NbA did lose those 2 bases. He did get that 5th base on the right, but now we're kind of getting into a position where it's 5 base against 5 base here, and TerrOr has a very strong army out on the map.
Yeah, and TerrOr has the right side, which, this is a 3-player map. There's not other bases for NbA to take on the left side. Like, he's got to do something, and interceptors, they take money. We can see NbA is maxed out, so he can't build any more carriers right now. However, did he catch TerrOr out of position? The entire army is coming right now. Arbiter doesn't have energy for stasis. I don't see any just yet. Great storms on top of so many tanks. The Goliaths in the back are doing a lot of damage. The tanks are doing a lot of damage. Look at the interceptors fizzle out. The Goliaths are too strong.
Wow, yeah. That fight looked like it could maybe go either way, but TerrOr kind of pushing back NbA there. And like you said, with TerrOr having the right side of the map, this is a game, like a there's a timer on this game, right? Like if NbA runs out of resources there, you can see his mains mined out, his natural is mined out, 3rd base is mined out basically here. So all he's really mining from is that mineral only, which is probably getting quite low as well, and that 5th base. So once he gets down to one base here, he's not going to really be able to afford to produce interceptors and continue to produce units, whereas TerrOr is setting up the whole right side of the map here. He's taking the main base now. This is looking like a very good map here for TerrOr. It's up to NbA to get something done if he wants to win this game.
Well, he's harassing the left side, which I think is great, but like I said, if all you do is pull all the units over here, that's not going to be a way you actually win. He still also only has 6 carriers. He needs to get up to 9 or 12. Look how big this Terran army is. Also, we don't know how much AoE is left for Protoss because he used a lot of storms. Also, don't know if he used his energy for stasis. We've got a huge engagement here. Zealot's getting on top. Needs some storms. That's a great stasis, but look at the focus fire onto the Templar. Only gets 1 storm off. One of the carriers have fallen. There's so many Goliaths in the back.
Yeah, a couple more storms going down now, picking off all of these tanks. Is this enough here from NbA? Is he going to be able to clean up this army? It's kind of close here. Only 2 tanks remaining in the back, but the reinforcements, a couple of reinforcements coming in here from TerrOr. Is this going to be enough? A few more Dragoons coming in. Oh, the Dragoons moving up the ramp into the tank fire in the Goliath. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there, but it looks like TerrOr has just enough to kind of push back what NbA has here at the moment.
He needs to use that Templar. It has Storm available, but he's okay. He does get off a Storm. The Goliaths, they took the brunt of the damage right there. The tanks are continuing to push through. It's still a 15 supply lead for NbA right now. The army is not that big for both players. The carriers, I guess, are rebuilding their interceptors right now. I know he's got 3 more carriers somewhere. He's at 5 just... Okay, there they are. Now he's at 8. This is a big deal. The Goliath count is lacking. It's just 8 right now. Factor in the ledge, and this could be very hard to deal with.
Yeah, we'll see if he can pick off some of these interceptors that carry. Now, flank coming in from the Protoss army. We got Zealots and Dragoons coming in from 2 angles with the carriers there. Nice, best engagement he could kind of hope for in this position, but is this going to be enough? There's still a lot of tanks here on the high ground. However, there's not a lot of Goliaths left. Okay, a few more streaming in now that can kind of protect these tanks. TerrOr's still moving forward here, but these carriers continue to pick off units here.
I don't think these carriers are doing enough damage. I mean, maybe he's going to win this fight simply because it's 8 versus 7 Goliaths right now, but overall, they were not dishing out that much DPS. If TerrOr can get off 1 more round of Goliaths, get it together with his army, I think he will be able to push through and take down the 5th base. Remember, he's still got mid-right. He's got eco. NbA, look at his money. Look how slowly it's going up. He must hold mid-left, and then he's got to kill something on the right side.
Yeah, we'll see more units coming in. TerrOr's base did finish there. He hasn't mined it just yet, but more Zealots and Dragoons streaming in here. Is he eventually going to break through? It looks like he's maybe finally going to break through this army, and that's kind of what he needs, but he still has the problem of he just doesn't have any more bases after these 2 that he's mining right now. He just cannot really get another base. He has to kill the right side if he wants to win this game.
Goliaths from the backside going to intercept these carriers. Zealots are coming in. The carriers need to get together, like get consolidated. He's going to end up running away. I think he's got a counterattack right now. The mineral only can be sacked because there's not very much there, but the mid-left base obviously can't be sacked. Instead, NbA is actually going to try and swoop around, maybe? No. I thought he was going to try and engage at that position. Instead, he's going to send the carriers to mid-right. I think this is a decent move. He needs to pump out like DTs, Mass Templar, something. He's going to get this command center, maybe both command centers.
Yeah, so it feels like he wants to go for that base trade situation where he just takes away all the income here from TerrOr and then relies on his carrier micro to kill everything TerrOr's got left. I think that's probably what his plan is. He's going for. We'll see if it works because TerrOr is pushing up here now, and he's going to kill the last remaining mining base here of NbA. So both players could have their economies just devastated to the point where no one has any money, and then it comes down to who wins the fight, the Goliaths or the carriers. Look at all those Templars. Holy crap.
He needs like 5 more seconds for the energy. Mass Templars is amazing in this scenario if you can combo it with the carriers, which he's bringing back right now. NbA needs to transfer those probes that he's got at top left. Instead, is he going to morph all these into Archons?
I don't know. That could be a bit of a mistake if there are any vessels around. One EMP could just destroy all of that pretty much, but I don't see any around now. The carriers will come back and pick off this turret being made. Not too big of a deal there, but yeah, 5th base going down, so NbA is completely out of mining. Now, he did kill 2 of TerrOr's bases, but TerrOr still is mining a little bit. I don't know how much is left there. Not a lot. Looks like 300-ish average maybe per patch, so he's almost out of mining here as well. We're only going to be able to mine for a couple more minutes, but those may be the couple minutes he needs to get enough units out to fight what NbA has left.
Well, it all comes down to this. He needs to EMP these Templars, or NbA needs to land the Storms on the Goliath. Either one is going to be a win condition for both of the players. The Goliaths on the left side, they're done. They're 100% dead. NbA is not mining at all right now. He has not transferred any of the pros at top middle, none at his natural, not even distance mining anything. So this is all in. He needs to have a favorable engagement here. TerrOr's using all of his resources just for a couple turrets in the center of the map. You can see constant scans going all over the place, and he's actually long distance mining mid-right.
Yeah, NbA is sending some probes to long distance mine now, at least that mineral only, nothing else. It's going to give him a few minerals for replacing interceptors, but otherwise what you see is what you get pretty much here for NbA. He needs to find a killing blow here on TerrOr if he is going to win this game, because TerrOr still has that money. If TerrOr is allowed to set up right base, he will just be able to outmine and outproduce and kill NbA here. But he is flying over with the carriers. We'll see if he can get something done and maybe deny a base here.
Ooh, this is so many Goliaths. Can they swoop in like that? And the answer is yes. He's going to lose one carrier in an instant, loses two carriers. And NbA, who could have won this game, that might have been all TerrOr needed to take it. I've also noticed there's no observer in this army, so these zealots are just going to suicide into spider mines. He's got to go now, though, because TerrOr is getting this base up and running.
Yeah, the pressure is on Protoss here. Terran doesn't have to do anything at all. He can just sit here, protect this base, get it up and running, and mine until NbA is out of minerals. It literally really is on NbA to do something here. And if NbA can't do anything, it's game over, right? We'll see where he wants to go. He is getting his army together. He's going to push across down the middle here. There is some units coming up here for TerrOr. Scans going down. Tanks getting ready to siege up. A lot of Goliaths here. I don't think this is going to be enough. We'll see.
I don't think it's going to be enough either. The Storm, that's a great Storm. He needs to blanket the backside of the Goliath too. He got one Storm off. 5, 6 carriers are remaining. None of the carriers are dying. All the Storms are connecting. And we're about to have almost no anti-air versus these carriers. Look how few Goliaths are left. 5 carriers versus 5 Goliaths. There's Archons left over. There's Goons left over. NbA, somehow he's going to do it. He's up 30 supply. He's still not mining. TerrOr's got a decent bank now. He's got almost 1,000 resources, but there's still not enough Goliaths. Carrier might die. It does. Down to 4.
This is crazy. Like, he's gonna swoop in now and kill this base, right? Like, what can TerrOr do? He's gonna lose this base. He's gonna be barely mining from that base. Long distance mining isn't gonna be enough here. Okay, army is splitting up from NbA. This could be downfall if there are enough units though for TerrOr to handle this. It doesn't look like there are. Great Storm going down, hitting all of the TerrOr's units.
And actually, those Archons are doing work. They are able to avoid mines. Storm combo in the back. And this is why Carrier Storm is so deadly. It's so hard to deal with carriers in general. Then you factor in that the Storms are just blanketing your whole army. I mean, it's just so hard to do anything. And he does kill mid-right. Still, NbA has no mining. Look at this. Actually, it's going to be a Goliath counterattack to just shut down this income.
And maybe he's hoping to force the carriers and all the units to come back, buy him some time to get another base mining or something. I don't know. Will this be enough here?
He needs to save these probes. Oh my god, he's floating to mid-left, and he doesn't know that it's being floated there. TerrOr's not out of it just yet because NbA, obviously, he's got 4 carriers, but he's got to consistently build interceptors. Actually, I think TerrOr's still going to win this game because I noticed that, again, there's no observer. So these units are on the right side of the map, are not feeling confident to move anywhere. Look at them. They're on hold position because, okay, he does realize that, okay, I need to get an observer over here ASAP to get these to safety, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, there's actually a decent amount of Goliaths here still on the ground. These can fight the carriers, so I agree. I think TerrOr's still going to win. He's going to get that base up on the left here, sending those SCVs starting to mine, and NbA doesn't even know about that base now. He did send an observer seeing units running that way, so maybe that'll tell him, okay, maybe there's a base here, if he saw that, if he was paying enough attention and to notice that, but I don't know if he did. Carriers are back here in position, but I
There's
don't
no
know if there's enough to fight. Yeah.
There's no
and
observer outside of
There's
the
a
net.
couple on the map. He can't see this, yeah. The Templar's gonna trigger it!
No! Stop!
Dead!
Why?
No!
2 Templars die, and he needs every Templar he can get. He has absolutely no income. 150 minerals, 3,000 gas. Carriers are on the high ground right here, but there's nothing really to support them. Okay, the Archons are going to come in. Vultures are going to swoop around and pick off these Templars. It's heartbreaking. Goodbye.
Yeah, we can see the supply lead here for TerrOr as well. Carriers trying to micro their best, but he doesn't have the interceptors. He's going to lose all his interceptors and not be able to remake them.
Yep, there's too many Goliaths. There's too many Goliaths, and there's no Storm now. He's going to move in with the Archon and Goon. If he EMPs this, the game probably ends. There it is. He hits the Carriers and the Archons. Goon is blocking the Archons from actually getting up. Imagine if there was a single Storm here, but there isn't. Somehow, some way, TerrOr, he's going to barely survive. NbA just has no money.
Wow, what a game, what a finish. This has been so back and forth. GG finally being called here by NbA. I can't believe what we just watched. I didn't know who was going to win that game right until the end. What a game.
That was an insane game. I thought for sure that he had it. Oh my gosh, NbA just barely not able to close it out, and he's going to be kicking himself, losing those 2 additional carriers on the right side. However, he had an amazing engagement. Just the lack of observers killed him. He wasn't able to get to the left side, and TerrOr just barely scrapes a win, and he needed that because now it's 1-1. If NbA was up 2-0, just simply based on how NbA is playing, I think for sure he would win at least 1 out of the 3 games, but we've got a tied series on our hands, and now momentum is, well, maybe not, I don't know if momentum's on TerrOr's side now, but he's at least got a point on the board.
Yeah, and you definitely feel a lot more comfortable in that position, having that point on the board. You're like, okay, we're in a best of 3 now. I'm not down 2-0 and have to win 3 in a row. Definitely feeling more comfortable. You can breathe a little bit, sigh. You can play your game in the next game. You know you won this game, and you know, like, don't forget, like, NbA picked off that command center at one point. He looked like he was going to take this game, and TerrOr still fought back and won it. So you got to be feeling comfortable as TerrOr in this position, I would say.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the command center getting picked off, so TerrOr should be feeling pretty good, like you said. I mean, not so good that it got that close, but still happy that he's able to be on the board. We're going to get NbA's pick now. There are a lot of good maps for Protoss, I think. I think we would see Gladiator. I think that's the most oppressive map for Terran. I also think Butter's a good map, similar to Eclipse, so if he's intending to or wants to gas steal or wants to get in TerrOr's face ASAP, I think that could be a good map choice. Okay, take all of that back, because here's Overwatch.
Interesting choice. I mean, we did see that he went for those carriers last game, so maybe he's feeling comfortable enough with carriers, because I agree with what you had said earlier, right? Like, this is a fine map if you're going carriers, but if you're not going for carriers, this can be very hard for Protoss. You really need to do something aggressive or something off the beat, throw Terran off if you want to win with something other than carriers.
Yes, for sure. And with this screen, that means our players are ready. Let's get into game 3 between these two superstars. Okay, in the top left, our red Protoss, it's NbA.
All right, and in the bottom right, it is our blue Terran, TerrOr. So yeah, we could see some different things here. Like we said, 2-player map, so there's always the option for Protoss to go for like a gas steal or some kind of a early proxy, something like that. We'll see if NbA wants to do any of that. Looks like he is going to throw that first pylon down in his main base, so we're not going to see even a forward gate here, but there's still some options. We'll see if he chooses to do anything else after this.
Yeah, already I'm kind of questioning the map choice from NbA, because I don't think this is a fast enough timing to go gas steal anymore. So if you're not going to pressure, you're not going to gas steal, what exactly are you looking for on Overwatch that you don't get on, other maps? Like, this is, if you can ever get a 2-player map, my opinion is you should gas steal every game. It's just forces Terran to adapt to you right from minute one.
Yeah, definitely lets you control the pace a lot. Just gonna go ahead, throw down that gas as well. So standard opening here once again from NbA. From what I've seen from his play in Goes to League as well, he played pretty similar most games, clearing pretty standard straight up openings here. Looks like he's just gonna continue to do that here as well. Maybe he wants to go for some kind of a Reaver play, a quick Reaver play or something that could be good here, potentially, especially if it goes unscouted. But otherwise, yeah, we'll see. He might just go standard, and if that's the case, I do got to question the map choice, like you were saying.
We do have both players intercepting each other, and we've got the same opener from TerrOr. It's going to be one SCV on gas. Protoss is going to come in here, though, and see that it's one SCV on gas, and he should know that this is going to be an expand. Now, this is something that I like to do when there is action on the map. Attack the probe line, and he snipes an SCV. This is what you should always do, you Terran players out there. Whenever the probe is doing something to you, just attack that mineral line. They won't be watching a lot of the time, and maybe you can snipe something back, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Yeah, I was like, is he going to pull this? He's not going to pull this. He's just going to let it die, right? And sure enough, so nice little win early on here for TerrOr. And every little bit adds up, especially at these kinds of levels. Those kind of things can make huge differences. So, yeah, advantage TerrOr early on. But, of course, NbA can still fight back here. This isn't game-ending, but, yeah, nice play there.
Yeah, this can also tilt the opposing player. You may see something like... Well, you can already see that NbA is tilted because he's following that SCV with his probe, or he was trying to micro like he's in the ASL, trying to get that SCV pushed back ASAP. There's the command center coming down from TerrOr. SCV is going to die. Now, this is kind of a dangerous situation because probe did not reveal Nexus. He didn't see the probe move down. He didn't really confirm no tech. All he did was confirm that there's a goon and cybernetics was spinning.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have that Marine doing a good job keeping that probe away. I don't think he confirmed if there was a command center started there or not. Trying to get in and see what it's at, but looks like TerrOr's going to do a great job keeping that probe away, not allowing him to scout in there with that and get that confirmation.
Yeah, probe just hanging out. Not sure exactly what he's looking for, but for now he at least confirms there's no vulture run by or marine push out or anything like that. We know that that's not happening. SCV actually has stuck to the bottom side of the map, so TerrOr going to get a secondary scout. I see something went up at the corner of NbA's base. That could be Citadel. It is. And we are going to have delayed DT. Thinking back to the first game, remember, where TerrOr got no siege mode and got busted by a goon bust. TerrOr may be feeling confident after his second game win to go for another attack like that, and delayed DT will just instantly shut that down. So I like this play from NbA.
Yeah, now I wonder, is this probe gonna like proxy a gateway out here or something? DT drop here. We got robotics facility started as well, so he's gonna go try and drop some DTs into the main here. Yeah, I mean, if TerrOr doesn't get in to scout this can really pay off and catch a Terran off guard, especially if they're feeling confident. Like, okay, I see the Nexus, he's mining. It's not going to be super fast DTs or anything. Maybe I can skimp a little bit, and the next thing you know, DTs are dropped into your main.
Yeah, I also like how he split up the tech, like the robo's in the center of his base, so if TerrOr scans there, and then scans the natural, for example, well, he'll probably only see the robo, think it's observer, and then, uh-oh, I don't have any more scans, and also, uh-oh, there's DTs in my base. So this is pretty nice, but he can't let this get in. He is going to pick it off, though, so that's nicely done.
Yeah, like this is not going to look out of the ordinary if a scan comes down, but I don't even think an academy has been built. He is going to go for those turrets here. Now he is getting a turret in the main base and here at the NAT, so he is going to have the detection ready. But if he only has one turret, he can still drop on top of that and pick that off before units, or before he can kind of save, repair, and defend it. So we'll have to see. First two DTs are being produced here. Shuttle should be on the way as well, so that drop's going to be coming quite quickly. Is TerrOr going to be able to handle this?
Well, he's got turret set up perfectly for a DT drop. TerrOr is one of the players that doesn't necessarily go for turret rings. He likes to do this, where he's got one at his ramp, one at his NAT, and then one near his factories and command center. So he should be well secured to deal with this. I also noticed that something like it's either an academy or an armory going up at the bottom side of his base. Academy might be a little bit late, so the DTs might just be annoying, but they shouldn't really get any damage done. But here comes that shuttle.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They are flying across the map now. Seeing that floating eBay, maybe he'll turn around, think there's a turret under there or something. Of course, there is not, and we know that, but that could be something, and it will give him a little bit of advance notice there. That the shuttle is flying in, so he can pull a couple of units right away if he reacts. We'll see. Here comes the shuttle now. Looks like he found that spot just away from that.
Oh!
Vultures are gone too, so he's coming out here.
Okay, this is actually going to do a lot of damage. You gotta unload, though. Get on top of that turret. He doesn't know that there's no vulture. Oh my god, what a clutch hold. Oh my god, NbA. He's not able to get any damage done with this DT drop. He kills a turret. Terran doesn't care. Look, the academy's done now. If he can just build a turret at the bottom side while scanning to make sure it completes, this is going to be just perfectly fine for TerrOr. I guess at least it keeps the vultures off the map, so the third base is going to get up, but I thought for sure he was going to kill that turret.
Yeah, well, beautiful SCV block. I guess that's how he didn't necessarily know it was this Reaver and DT, but he has the SCVs to block if a Reaver falls out, to try and block it from dropping, and to block if DTs are coming for that turret. So I really love that 2 SCV kind of pull he had there. Really kind of saved him there, and now you got to say, like, TerrOr's in a pretty good spot, you know, because NbA invested all this money in tech, into the tech, the DT tech, the shuttle, and he really didn't get anything done with it.
Yeah, I thought he had another scan, so he kind of just was annoying here and didn't get a lot of damage done. It does buy him time to get his third base up, which is fine, but you can see 70 supply versus 70 supply. You really want to be farther ahead as Protoss, and we know TerrOr is somebody that will punish you if he thinks that you're playing too greedy. So there it is. There's the 6 factories. He's saying you cannot go DT drop and also take a third base and potentially be going arbors all at the same time. I'm just going to go kill you. So he puts down those 6 factories.
Yeah, especially when those ETs didn't really do anything to slow you down. Killed what, a turret, maybe like 1 unit or something? I don't even remember. But yeah, and I mean, this is probably going to work as long as he has enough scans or enough mines to kill off any potential DTs here from NbA. It's going to be very hard for NbA to deal with, especially if TerrOr can get set up into a good position. Now, he does have the observer, so he will be able to see this coming and get into a position that he wants to be in, but will it be enough?
Well, TerrOr's doing this again, so it wasn't just a fluke versus Ghosted Arc. He's trying to get out into the center of the map, and I don't know about this. I mean, this is just so far forward. I mean, you have a lot of surface area to just collapse on an army, but if you do secure this area, of course you can take mid right. You can, I guess, slow push to top right, but okay, well, he's not going to siege up and take mid right. He is going to push now, but as you mentioned, it comes down to the scans. If DTs get mixed in and there's no scans, well, the whole army's going to die. Oh no, no speed.
Yeah, I did see a couple of DTs, but some mines getting placed here, some turrets getting thrown down. TerrOr kind of getting into position here. All the rest of the tanks are being sieged up. We'll see how the engage goes. Oh, first Dragoon going down. A couple of free shots on those Dragoons. Not really what NbA wants to see, but he just needs to buy enough time to get enough units over here to kind of either sandwich it or get something on top of these tanks. But with the Goliaths mixed in, I don't know if there's any shuttle. We saw that one get picked off. I don't know if it was remade. DT coming in here. See if he can't sneak in here. There is a shuttle dropping on top of some of these tanks, but with these Goliaths here, only 2 of the Zealots get out. DT gets picked off as well. Oh, the Mind Drag tries to get in on it. Well, the tanks kill themselves. They will not. So far it's going all right here for TerrOr.
Yeah, it was a good attempt from Protoss, but third base has been breached and it is going to fall. I did notice NbA was going into Arbiter tech also, so a lot of tech, you know, and a third base and expensive robo and shuttle, and apparently it was just too much to handle the 6-pack. He's got a 5 supply lead, so he may be able to knock down this Terran army, but Terran should be able to trade very cost efficiently, especially with all those mines set up.
Yeah, it almost looks like NbA wants to go around the army and push in towards TerrOr, but he's going to be pushing across a small bridge if he does that. There are only a few tanks here, so maybe he can get on top of it, and yeah, that looks like his play here. I'd like to see maybe a few of the units being brought back. Oh, big mine going off on hitting like 4 or 5 Dragoons, doing a lot of damage there. Will TerrOr bring the rest of his army back? Will NbA just kind of set up to kill all these tanks now that they're open here?
Well, he doesn't know that they're open here. He may have thought
Yeah.
they were retreated, so he is not going to be able to find them. And there's actually a decent amount of vultures and I think a single Goliath at top middle, so that Nexus could actually die. NbA, can he catch TerrOr on the retreat path? The answer is no, not just yet at least. Okay, he might. Tanks are not on the high ground just yet. Hello, they're going to move into position though. This is the trade NbA needs. Zealots get on top of those 5 tanks. He's going to knock those down, and this bottom or this bottom right side is going to have to be pushed back also.
Yeah, he got there just in time too, right? Like the flanking army coming in from TerrOr. It still looks like TerrOr's still gonna have enough to push this army back, but the trade is what NbA needed. Like he killed a bunch of those tanks off. It's really gonna slow TerrOr down from doing another push here. Maybe, like he's still got a good army. He could still maybe go for a push if he can get a good position. And it looks like that is what he wants to go for. NbA's not out of the danger here yet. We can see the supply lead for TerrOr as well. So he's still got to make something happen if he wants to keep fighting this game.
Yeah, one thing I did notice though is that SCV count from TerrOr just continuously sits at 45, so he's not pumping out really any SCVs. If NbA can hold top middle, if he can get this arbiter out, I think he's still in an okay position, but it's still even supply for TerrOr. It's just never a spot you want to be in. Now tanks are on the high ground. This is the stranglehold that TerrOr is known for. He's going to try and knock down this third base. Here come the Zealots. Those are mines that are far forward, but they get mowed down instantly before the mine can connect.
There's not near enough units here for Protoss. This is going to be GG. We feel, yeah, there it is. GG is called. TerrOr taking the quickest game of this series so far and a 2-1 lead. So nice game.
Yeah, nicely executed from TerrOr. And I feel so bad for NbA because I thought the DTs were going to do damage when the vultures were out of position, but they just didn't get the damage done. It was such an expensive investment. He built 4 DTs, 2 shuttles, triple Nexus, Stargate, Arbiter. It's hard to support all that and also defend a 6-fac timing, so it was the right answer from TerrOr. And now he's up 2-1. It's going to be NbA's map pick again, but it's got to be a good pick this time. It's because if he loses here, he's done. This is best of 5, and he's only 1 game away from being eliminated.
Yeah, I would love to see either Gladiator or Butter or something, like you said. Gladiator can be very good for some early aggressive plays or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping it's one of those two. I think he should pick one of those two. But
well, I want to see Gladiator.
Yeah, that's definitely a good map.
Yeah, I want to see Gladiator because he won on Vermeer. That's a 4-player map, big 4-player map. He kept Terran back like the whole game. I mean, Longinus, think to the Longinus game that we just saw. I mean, Terran was held back for like upwards of 20, 25 minutes. I mean, seems like on 4-player map, he's able to keep Terran back while also taking bases. No need to play a 2-player map. So I feel like Gladiator could be a good choice here. I would 100% pick it if I was him.
Yeah, I would have picked it earlier too myself, but we'll see. He kind of surprised us with some of his picks here already.
We also have Sylphid available. What do you think about that for PvT?
Yeah, that's not a bad choice either. You can definitely do some more aggressive stuff there, just being a flat ground map as it is. But being a flat ground map, the high ground advantage of Gladiator just is that much better, than the flat ground. So, oh wow, okay. Looks like Monopoly was picked here. What do you think about that?
I think this is 3-1 incoming. Honestly, we've got the Monopoly pick. I don't know about this. Let's see if NbA can transition this into a victory, though. This is his last life. Otherwise, he's done. Let's get into Game 4 of TerrOr versus NbA.
Yeah, it looks like it was 14-14 PvT, which does surprise me a little bit. I would favor Terran on this map, but we'll see.
Yeah, in the top middle, we have our Terran player. It's TerrOr.
All right, and on the right side of the map here, in the red, the Protoss NbA.
Yeah, so
do or die time. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure it is do or die, and I think this is a good map, a decent map for like Shuttleman, Reaverman, but we haven't actually seen really any of that play from NbA, so I'm not too sure exactly how or what strat he's going to come up with here, because as you stated earlier, I mean, the chokes are very punishing. Like, everything's going to funnel up. If you attack into a siege Terran, You just don't have any arc at all. Like everything's just bottled up.
Yeah, exactly. So this kind of goes back to what I said on Overwatch 2, where you need to do something non-standard. You need to do, maybe Reavers like you suggested, or carry something that's not quite just straight up Protoss Gateway Man, because that kind of strategy just will not work very well on this map if Terran pushes you or gets in any kind of a good position. But yeah, maybe NbA is something special planned on this map. That's why he picked it. We'll see. Looks like he's just opening his standard gateway here. I imagine we'll see him take a gas and just go pretty normal here.
Well, look at this. This is going to be 10-10-10 or 11-11-11 or something like that from TerrOr. Either way, this is an unstandard opener from him. This is not going to be one on gas followed up by a command center. This is going to be some type of aggressive play. Maybe he was expecting NbA to power a little bit too hard, whether it's, one goon or, I don't know, skip range. Not sure exactly what he's looking to punish, but this is definitely going to be a timing attack.
Well, NbA is doing something a little different here. He is taking his gas late this game too, or as well. He did get that second pylon up before gas on 16. Yeah, I guess he's going to be building a Zealot here, or has a Zealot on the way. Going to be looking to put on a little bit of pressure, but I don't think TerrOr is going to sweat one Zealot too much here.
Ooh, 2:30 factory timing. Honestly, this is not, anything unusual. Maybe slightly fast, but not anything where NbA is thinking like, okay, this is 100% a 10 gas or 100% an 11 gas. Now that probe wants redemption for last game. It is within. It needs one more shot, two more shots actually. Marine pushing it back though, just barely.
I thought he was going to be able to get it, but no, he is not. That Marine out here, I mean, he can maybe circle around or something, but a second Marine now being built. Third Marine, actually. First, the Zealot is going to come in here. We'll see what it can get done. We can slow down that factory maybe a little bit here. We'll pick off that first SCV. Maybe pick off another one here, but with two Marines, third one, and some good micro, I think you'll be okay. Nice micro actually coming out here from NbA, though. Stutter stepping on that Marine. He's going to be able to, maybe pick off... Oh, all these Marines are one hit from death, so TerrOr's going to have to be very careful here. So it does get on top and pick off them, and then it does go down.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that was a factory and not a depot, I was thinking, okay, you're in trouble. And there we go. Now we know where that gas is going. It is going into a proxy factory. And as you know, a lot of Protoss players are skipping range these days. And one way to punish it is to just go for something like that. It's not going to actually be skipped range, surprisingly. So, actually, NbA could hold this, but he needs to get down the second gate pretty quickly.
Yeah, and if he knows this is coming, he's not going to expect the proxy most likely, but will he have the wherewithal to think, okay, maybe this was a 2 factory and expect maybe a second factory in the base, but Vulture coming out from that first factory, or is that just the SCV? I think just the SCV going to scout, so won't be telling just yet, but yeah, NbA could be in some real trouble. He's sending all his Dragoons across the map, so even one Vulture out of this factory could get into the main and do a ton of damage.
Yeah, it definitely can. And that SCV, well, I don't know if TerrOr wants to show the Vulture, right? Because that kind of gives it away. That means that, you would have to have floated your main factory out to get it out. That's just not going to happen. So I think he needs to just bank those up.
Yeah. That is going to be what he's doing here. I wondered if he might send it, seeing all the Dragoons across the map, knowing he could get in there with that first Vulture, pick up a ton of probes, but he is not going to show that just yet. He's going to keep it home. Okay, 2 Vultures now. They are going to move away from that factory, move across the map here as this push comes, and they're going to be in behind here. Did he get mines?
Yep, he got mines, and he showed it. Oh my god. NbA can't retreat. Oh no, he didn't realize that it got picked off, or at least doesn't realize that mines have been set up.
Oh no!
There goes one! There goes 2! Both of them connect. Meanwhile, Vultures into the main, shredding these probes.
This is going to be pretty much game-ending damage. I mean, you can see he had to cut SCVs for this, but the probe kills are just insane here. He's already got so many probe kills. Now the tanks and, he has to send the Dragoons back into the main, but now he has nothing to fight the main army here of TerrOr. And he's just going to continue to produce off 2 factories against 1 gateway here.
Oh, no!
Oh, the mine hit too. This is going to be it. What can he do? He needed a miracle mine or something, nope.
Yep, this is going to be it. I mean, Agoon is strong, but not strong enough to take down 5 Marines in a single tank and a single Vulture, and that's it. TerrOr wins 3-1 with a very interesting play in Game 4, but NbA played well all day long. I am sad to see him fall, but TerrOr, oh man, he's just so good.
Yeah. I mean, after those first 2 games, I was like, is this going to go the distance? Are we in for a really long series here, right? Because those first 2 games were pretty epic, pretty long series, but these next 2, TerrOr showing his skill maybe a step above NbA's here still. Although, in saying that, we can't forget, NbA did beat him 2-0 before, so the score between the two of them during the bracket here was 3-3.
It always feels bad to be eliminated when you have the same score. You know, that happened to me at WCG. I was playing versus G5. I lost 2-1, then I won 2-0, and then I lost 2-1 in the finals. And just based on how the bracket was set up, that meant that I ended up losing, even though the score was 4-4. Oh, I was not happy. But NbA should be feeling good about his showing. He played well this tournament. He makes top 3, which means he makes it into the overall BSL tournament. So congratulations to him. But now we've got the finals that I wanted. It's Dandy versus TerrOr. We're going to go into a break, and then we'll come back with that epic series. Welcome back, guys. We just saw NbA fall to TerrOr, and that means that we actually have Dandy versus TerrOr as our finals. So this is going to be an exciting TVT. The format is set up where Dandy is going to start off with a 1-0 lead because he came from the winner's bracket, and he gets to eliminate a map completely from the pool, and he has decided that Monopoly, you're out of here, you gotta go. So TerrOr's not going to be able to go for a crazy strat like what we just saw versus NbA, but I'm still really looking forward to this series.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't know about the map or what map was banned. I'm actually happy to hear it was Monopoly because for a lot of the reasons we talked about last match, that you can kind of get that no man's land really set up quite easily on that map. But yeah, so no Monopoly. But yeah, this is going to be a very exciting match, as you pointed out. Like when you think of South American top level South American StarCraft, these are the first two players that just about anybody will think of, right? First two players you should be thinking of, Dandy and TerrOr, and that's what we have here in the finals. So this is going to be a great match. Yes, maybe TVT, but I don't know if these players can pull out anything, right? You probably know their TVT, their styles a little bit better than I do. What do you expect this match will be like?
Yeah, so TerrOr, he's definitely more of the aggressive one. Not necessarily like opening aggressive, but what I mean is like a lot of Terran players will go like 3-fact Vulture and then like kind of expand off of that. Whereas if TerrOr opens 3-fact Vulture, it doesn't mean he's necessarily expanding it to a third base. It's going to be a 5-fact follow-up or something of that nature. Meanwhile, Dandy, I would say he plays more normalish. The one difference, in my opinion, in the early game is versus Dandy, he really likes to gasless expand. But we've got our players ready. So let's get into game one of our final series in the Latin American Championship. Okay, in the top middle are red Terran. It is TerrOr.
All right, and on the right side of the map, in the blue, it is Dandy. All right, Sylphin, what do you think?
Yeah, so as I was stating, Dandy does like to gasless expand. I mean, a lot of players like to gasless expand, but out of all the foreigners that I played against, by far, he gasless expands the most. So what I want to see actually is, even though TerrOr's down 0-1 because Dandy just starts up 1-0, I want to see 8 Rex. And I want him to do it because I want him to let Dandy know, like, hey, I know you gasless expand. You're not just going to be able to do it freely. You're gonna have to keep in mind that I can 8 racks, but we're not seeing that. So I guess TerrOr's got different ideas this time around.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that it looks like it won't be that 8 racks like you were hoping for, but still doesn't mean he can't do something aggressive if he chooses to. Now, not a lot of aggressive things I would say you can do in the early game. Maybe if someone went for a forward 11 racks or something, I don't know. I don't know this matchup as well as you will, of course, but we'll see here. It looks like both players are just going to be opening up pretty standardly here. We'll see if someone wants to take their gas. Looks like neither player taking a gas. Dandy scouting around there a little bit, deciding where he wants to put his barracks. Both players putting it forward, of course, because they want to be able to lift that off after building a couple of Marines, 1 or 2 Marines usually, and use it for some scouting.
Yeah, we do have both players going for just a normal timing of the barracks. They didn't like build an additional SCV and then go for a 12-12. They are respecting the fact that there could be Marine pressure, and they're not going to delay the racks at all. I think TerrOr slightly had a faster gas, but slightly meaning like 1 or 2 seconds. He did get the top spawn, which has the most optimal mining on this map. We do see... Oh, actually, TerrOr may have cut, because I see now Dandy was at 14 supply, slightly faster than TerrOr, so he may have actually gotten 11 in gas here, but you can see it's only a 30-40 gas difference. It's kind of negligible, only 5 seconds, but it could mean that TerrOr might go into like 3 vultures compared to the standard 2 vultures.
Yeah, okay, we'll have to see how the players play this one out. We do have that first factory being thrown down here for TerrOr. Of course, that's going to be slightly quicker than Dandy's here. Because of that extra gas, but Dandy as well throwing down his factory, so nothing too surprising coming out from either player. Looks like SCVs have been pulled off gas here on both sides, so do expect you will see a command center follow-up here from both players.
I think, yep, there we go. I think TerrOr's going to put it back on gas, and the reason I say that is because he pulled off way late, and you're at a level now where players don't mismanage their gas. So this is actually going to be a fake expand from TerrOr. So already mixing it up, this may be proxy factory. It could just be forward starport on the right side. Now you got to remember, both players know, okay, that factory may be a little bit too close to the racks. The racks may intercept it, but it doesn't look like the angle of the racks actually is. However, he does not want to show these Marines and push the racks into that, I can tell you that.
Yeah, we'll see if that racks turns and could maybe see the SCV bounce around. I don't know. We'll see how much of an angle it takes there. If it's going to straight to that base, it will miss it and hit those Marines. Now we'll see. But yeah, Vulture being started here from Dandy. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Command Center down as well. So he's playing this pretty standard straight up. But yeah, I don't think that Rax is going to be able to see that factory. Just what TerrOr wants there. A couple Marines going to start hitting away at this. Now, does that Rax turn away? Probably not, but...
Okay, it's not going to turn away, and he is just going to continue to push here. Oh no, the Marines did not sync up with that Vulture. So actually, the Vulture is going to kill these. However, the Vulture run by at the bottom is going to be able to knock down that Marine. And this game's going to get wild because we're going full on Artosis mode. This is 2-fact Vulture into 2-fact Goliath follow-up. And this is extremely hard to hold with no bunker, no Marines, no add-ons. I wonder if Dandy knows this is going on. He does. Armory just now starts, but keep in mind, TerrOr's armory is already done. Like, Goliaths are already in production.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he can hold this. Another Vulture coming out here, but we have 3 Vultures, a couple Marines, and an SCV here. No Marines left, so the favor, I mean, TerrOr is going to have slightly higher DPS, and we'll see how the control is. He is going to get in and get the first volley off as well, killing one of those Vultures pretty much instantly, slowing down this command center. So already getting some nice damage done here, but he's going to have to get a little bit more done still, I think.
Yeah, and he can bunker this. If he bunkers the Nat in a way, Dandy can get out of his base, and actually, TerrOr could transition into an expansion. You can see he's up supply. Goliaths are moving across the map. I don't think he has any intention of building that bunker. He wants to end the game because he knows that this guy cannot afford mass Vultures and armory and command center. And that was a misstep from Dandy. He's going to lose a Vulture, and he also gives up the concave. He's going to lose another one. Goliath is so tanky, he needs to lead the charge.
Oh, and that one Vulture doesn't quite die. The SCV could start repairing it. Okay, Dandy does come out and pick that off, but there's still a couple of Goliaths more streaming in here now as well. Going to be able to probably take out this command center. Now, there is nothing started back at home yet for TerrOr, so if he can somehow hold this, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think this command center is going to survive.
It's not, and he's actually going into a third factory because he knows he's got to build up his Goliath count. He's never going to catch up, just 2-fact versus 2-fact. He's pushing out now, but it's 4 Goliaths versus 3 Vultures, 1 Goliath. Vultures do almost no damage to Goliaths here, so this is going to be a quick win for TerrOr.
Wow, yeah. Killing everything that Dandy has, and now what can Dandy do, right? He's not going to, like you said, catch up on the Goliath. He's going to have to sack SCVs or something just to have a chance here. And if he does that, he's just going to be too far behind. He's already too far behind. Look, the command center goes down or forces the cancel on it, and you can see the supply here. Like, this really paying off. He's pulling all his SCVs. He knows this is his only hope to do something, I guess. But even then, I don't feel like it's going to be enough.
Yep, here he comes. He's going to move in right when the SCVs went back to mining. He almost pops that single Goliath at the top. Loses none in the process for him. 2 more pop out. Doesn't matter, though. GG. And TerrOr takes a quick game 1.
Yeah, and nicely done. I mean, that evens the series up. It like negates that maybe 1-0 that we saw, Dandy, and now all of a sudden we're into that best of 5 situation, right? You can relax a little bit and you're like, okay, we got a series here, best of 5. I'm not down 2-0 to start this off.
Yeah, and some people will probably watch it and think like, okay, well, Dandy just played too greedy. I mean, honestly, Dandy just played a normal opener. The problem was he just didn't have any intel, really. Sure, he came in and saw a single factory, but he didn't get intel on when the SCVs actually took off the gas. Everything looked very normal, and it was just a blind counter from TerrOr, and he's just going to even up the score already at 1-1, because of course Dandy starts off with that free win. It's going to be Dandy's pick now, so I think honestly every map is good for Terran. Like, there's nothing, I mean, it's TVT, so it doesn't really matter, but there isn't any map where I'm like, okay, I just actually hate playing as Terran on this map. The Butter's great, Overwatch is great, Zilfid fine, Vermeer fine, Gladiator, I mean, kind of weird versus Zergan versus Protoss, but TVT also fine. So really, Dandy could just pick anything. He may pick a big map like Vermeer or Gladiator, simply because I know for a fact he loves to gasless. So we may see one of the 4-player maps come out here.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask her a question about that. Like, is he gonna pick maybe a bigger map, or is there like something? Oh, I want this kind of a map or that kind of a map, just because it plays to their strength, their style better. Like if one player's more aggressive, one player's more macro oriented, something like that. They might pick maps that favor that style a little bit better. But yeah, you kind of answered it there. So we'll have to see what the pick is here from Dandy.
Yeah, and with both players being from South America and both being, super high rated in terms of MMR, they've got a lot of experience. And I actually like this pick, and I'll tell you why in just a second. We're going to be going into our second map, technically third game really. It's going to be Overwatch between Dandy and TerrOr.
All right, and players are ready. Let's jump in.
Okay, in the top left, it is TerrOr.
All right, and in the bottom right, in the red, it is Dandy. And look at this, SCV already out on the map.
Okay, so the reason I was going to say pick this map is because I think if he picks a 4-player map and goes gasless, I think it would have been obvious to TerrOr that it was going to be a gasless expand map. Now, this I was not expecting at all. It's going to be an in-base barracks. So because of, like I said, Dandy, he really does like gasless. I would say upwards of 50% of the time he's going for gasless. TerrOr may be wondering, like, okay, man, you had all these options. You had Vermeer, you had Gladiator, and you decided to go for a 2-player map? Really? So he may scout his main? Now, I don't know about... Oh my... Are you serious? He's going to actually build a depot on the low ground? Why? Why would you ever do this? And he finds the racks instantly.
Wow. Maybe he was expecting something like this. I was going to ask you, like, I know in PvP, I always check my main, always for proxies on maps like this. But yeah, so TerrOr just, like, gets another build order win here, I guess, or what? Like,
yeah.
Where does it go from here? He's just ahead now, right? So
well, I can tell you where it goes from here if I'm on ladder. I'm hitting that Alt-Q enter button, and we're going next, because this is a massive deficit. He's already down 2 supply. Look. He doesn't even have his depot done. TerrOr does. So it's going to be potentially 3 supply lead, maybe, for TerrOr. Now, you don't want to get too greedy here as TerrOr, because you're ahead, right? But you don't know what Dandy's following up with. So I do like that this is a barracks. I would have hated it if he went into gasless or into a fast command center, because it's unlikely Dandy would have punished you, but that would be one way that Dandy could come back. So I do like this follow-up.
yeah, we can see the barracks there for TerrOr just going to be out in the middle of the map, so he's going to have earlier scouting info with that as well when he chooses to lift that off. Probably not going to go too hard into this, although maybe he can. I don't know what the timing is like on this, but maybe he can put a little bit of pressure on with the Marines, knowing he's going to have that faster barracks and faster everything, basically.
Yep, and now the question is, of course, is TerrOr going to continue to mine gas once he's able to build that first factory? I actually think he is, because he knows that the SCV was gone, and Dandy may not send a secondary SCV to come to kind of try and catch up. So I love that he's building or continuing to mine gas. I don't think this time around we're going to have a proxy factory. I actually think we're going to have a proxy starport, so we'll see if that SCV leaves the base and builds a starport at mid-right, for example.
Yeah, all right, SCV does get in. See the timing of everything coming up from Dandy. There is going to be the SCV coming in here, though, from Dandy as well. So he's going to have an idea that TerrOr is still mining gas, and something could be coming his way if he goes and checks it. Looks like he wants to try and kill this SCV if he can, at least slow the factory down slightly. Any time he can buy himself could mean one less SCV kill or something if TerrOr is putting on some pressure here. But he is going to be able to... Oh my
gosh. Do you see it? The Rax is floating, man, and it's 3 Marines that were pumped nonstop, soon to be 4. Factory's not done. I think it's going to complete, and he will be able to build a Vulture, but this is going to do devastating amounts of damage. Oh my god, it may just barely not complete. Look at this timing.
Here comes the bad news. Wow. Less than 50 HP. Here comes the bad news, forcing the pull. SCVs, of course, can beat and fight these Marines, but even with Micro here, it's just factory will complete now, but the damage has been done, forcing a pull when he's already behind and killing a few SCVs. Like, TerrOr's got to be feeling really good about his spot, and there is the starport. Not going to be a proxy, probably partially because Dandy did scout that there was gas mining and knows that something's coming. But yeah, like, is Dandy going to even be able to handle this? He's building a command center now. He's not going to have defense for wraiths now, is he?
He may go like one fact armory as a follow-up. I know I've seen videos on it, and it's solid versus everything, but it doesn't necessarily give you a lead really versus anything unless the opposing player goes like 2-port wraith, because Goliaths are just so strong in general versus wraiths. But this is going to be no cloak at least, so at least he's got that going for him. He doesn't have to build turrets. He doesn't have to build an academy. But yeah, this is going to be one fact, one port. However, it is on one base. So if Dandy does hold it, we do see he has a command center coming. So he will be able to catch up in this game. The Rax is going to find that there's nothing here. So he may scramble to get that armory down.
Yeah, we'll have to see. As soon as he confirms that there's no command center, does he instantly throw down an eBay or an armory or something? Looks like it's going to be a second factory. Is he just assuming this is a 2-fact again?
I don't know exactly what he's assuming. The tank should give it away that this is a 1-port, because you really don't just go like 2-fact tank vulture unless well, I mean, you do actually sometimes, but he does need to get that armory down. Okay, finally he starts it now that the wraith has shown itself at top middle. Actually, this is buying a lot of time. This was a big mistake from TerrOr to not commit with this wraith ASAP, but he at least eliminates the potential for a vulture counter. I like how he's building more marines with these tanks, so they're going to have support also.
Yeah, this feels like it's going to be tough to hold. Like, it's even tank count, and he's going to have more marines and a wraith here. Wraith picking off that marine. Like, oh, he can't lose that tank too fast. He does lose one, but it's still going to be one tank and some marines and a wraith here. So it's going to force Dandy back. Does Dandy hold here, though? Yeah, with the high ground.
I think he is going to hold. I think he is going to hold. Losing that first tank was a big deal, because I know TerrOr's getting siege mode. What he wants to do is just position those tanks in the back, in the top left corner, so he can siege the command center, while also keeping Dandy contained in his main, just like that. So now, how does Dandy get out without pulling a ton of SCVs? Well, the answer is he ain't getting out. So he's in big time trouble. He's gonna have one pull too, because when you play versus a style like this, there's no secondary attack. So you need to commit really hard, otherwise you're just gonna get strangled out of the game.
Oh, well, here come the wraiths now, starting to hammer away at some of these SCVs, and anything they can pick off kind of for free. Tanks all sieged up here, so yeah, Dandy can't really get out now. Like you said, he does have 3 factory production, so maybe he can mass enough units. I don't know, we'll see. But if he can get out and get that natural up and running, you gotta remember, like, TerrOr still doesn't have a command center done. He has started one now, it's about halfway done. He's still only on 1 base mining here.
It's honestly, Snipe, it's done. 3 tanks is kind of borderline, but once it reaches 4 with buffer support in the Marines, which actually do a decent amount of DPS, it's just game over. Instantly blows up that tank, instantly blows up everything else. The Goliaths, maybe they take down the Wraith, but none of the tanks die, and that's GG. And now TerrOr is up 2-1 very quickly.
Yeah, couple of very quick games. TerrOr takes the lead here. So what are you thinking now as Dandy? What do you want to do? What do you pull out for the next game, knowing that TerrOr's beating you with 2 quick games here?
I think he's going to gasless, like I said, and I think TerrOr's going to hate Rax. I think last game he was just going to go for a forward Rax, not necessarily an 8 Rax, but what he ended up doing, which was the forward Rax in the center of the map. And he got lucky that Dandy ended up building his barracks there. Actually got very lucky, because imagine if Dandy had built it in the main, he wouldn't have scouted it. So a bit unlucky there for Dandy, but I think this time around, if it's a 4-player map, I would bet money it's gasless. So I really do hope TerrOr is 8 Raxing, and I do hope Dandy is actually not gaslessing this time, because I think it's a dead giveaway if he does go for it.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a pretty important map for either player regardless, right? Like, TerrOr wins this, he's only 1 away from winning the whole thing here. Going to put a lot of pressure on Dandy, but if Dandy can take it, tie it up 2-2, we got a best of 3 going in here, so it could go either way from that point. Very important match for both players.
Yeah, and you know, we haven't even really gotten to see TerrOr's mid game at all. I mean, he's just straight up abusing Dandy in the early game. Like, the game's literally over within the first 5 minutes, so that's like disheartening for Dandy too. So you got to keep that in mind. He's probably thinking like, okay, well, what do I even do? Like, how do I even open? Because this guy, he's just absolutely destroying me in the early stages. I want to see Butter, or I want to see, well, we can't see Monopoly because that got vetoed. So I guess it kind of only leaves Longinus and Birdie and Butter, because I don't want to see a 4-player map simply because I think it's going to be gasless expand. And I think we're getting 8 racks 100% of the time. So I don't know. Dandy, I don't know, man. Okay, Longinus, thank you. We've got a 3-player map, so this is kind of a weird map to pick. Now maybe he can get away with gasless, because TerrOr might be thinking like, okay, this is a weird pick. Maybe you don't want to risk an 8 racks. Let's get into game 3 of our series. TerrOr up 2-1 so far. Okay, in the mid right, he is down 2-1. It is Dandy.
All right, and in the bottom, after 2 quick wins here, it is TerrOr. So yeah, Longinus, you said interesting pick. Maybe we can get a gasless from Dandy. Maybe we can get a bit longer of a game. 3-player maps can be a bit harder to split if it does get to that super late TVT type situation. So there's always that as well. Mineral only and double gas. I mean, we all know in TVT, like, minerals aren't that important. It's all about that gas. So I feel like if you can secure that extra double gas base, it's going to be a huge boost. Or get that double gas base going earlier on than your opponent, it's going to be a huge boost. What do you think?
Yeah, either whoever gets that first is just going to have just so many tanks, just an absurd amount of tanks. But one of the key features of Longinus here is that high ground in the center of the map. If anybody is able to get control over one of the high grounds, sure, they're going to be able to, the one that's defending is going to be able to loop around, which makes it interesting. But, you know, the one that's got the defensive setup on the high ground, if they spot that, could just instantly push your natural. So I actually like the spawns better for TerrOr here. If he can get on high ground, he's right outside the natural. Whereas, I guess actually it's kind of similar, but for some reason I'm feeling like TerrOr will be able to contain faster than Dandy. But I could be wrong. Regardless, we see gas from both players, both building it on 12.
Yeah, I wonder if Dandy hasn't been going for any gas. This is here just because he knows that TerrOr knows and is expecting TerrOr to maybe try something to punish it one game here or something. Just going to say, I'm not going to do gases. One thing about these spawns too, if someone wanted to go for maybe drops or something, you know, Dandy could drop the main base a little bit easier there, or a little bit shorter. Although looking at this map, you can kind of get drops into the main base without going too much further around. So maybe not that big of an advantage for either player.
We do have normal scout timing from both. Dandy somehow down once. Okay, actually it's because he cut a Marine so he can get that faster factory. Meanwhile, TerrOr didn't cut at all. And again, this may be another game where the SCV gets pushed out and TerrOr continues to mine gas, and then Dandy's stuck in the dark wondering what it is. You can see TerrOr's got 2 on gas. This is like a middle of the road thing where he can just take a normal command center, or he can build, you know, another tech building. We'll see what he wants to opt for. So far, no giveaway on what it's going to be.
Yeah, it does kind of throw a wrench in the plans there, maybe, of Dandy not knowing, is this going to be you know, a factory, a starport, or an expansion? And we can see a third SCV being put back on gas. So again, it's going to be something aggressive coming out here from TerrOr. We'll wait to be seen if he wants to throw down another factory or if he's going to throw down starport. He hasn't thrown it down yet, and he's banked up 200 gas. So I'm gonna wonder. It looks like going to be a proxy there, maybe. He's trying to find a place to build it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be proxy factory. Longinus is one of those maps where you can shoot, like, yeah, the terrain right there. You can shoot, like, potentially into the main, like from the side, or pick off that depot, for example. So I think it's going to be a proxy factory, but now that the SCV's shown itself, obviously it's not going to be. And actually, TerrOr just transitioned this into a command center. You know, I was thinking that if I was Dandy here, I actually thought it was going to be a fake. Like the 2 on gas, I thought it was going to be a fake and he's just going to build a command center. But then he put 3 on gas and then he still went for a command center. So he's throwing me off completely.
Yeah, I got to question that a little bit too, because you can already see he's banked up a lot of extra gas here. Maybe he's just like, oh, I just want more gas later on into the game or get my next factories quicker. But it is I do question it a little bit, but we'll see how this plays out. Right now, both players on even supply, you know, Barracks flying across the map, just going to be able to get in eventually and scout. So nothing like too out of the ordinary here from either player. No one's really feeling any early pressure coming their way.
Well, there's that gas. It's going to go into double starport. This is a very uncommon follow-up. Usually you do this off after like a 14 CC or something because a lot of pushes come in double starport. Cloaked Wraith can deal a lot of damage. So again, another mind game from TerrOr. I like how Dandy canceled his bunker once he scouted it. That was fantastic. However, you can see how far that Rax is into TerrOr's main. Like it's almost already here. And all he really needs to see is that, hey dude, you've only got 1 factory and that's going to trigger Armory and Academy instantly. May not trigger eBay, but honestly, you don't need that many Goliaths to shut down Race.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I wondered, like, is he going to get that scouting information? How far is this going to go? Like, he could always have thrown that factory further to the left still. No, Barracks is going to get here. You only see 1 factory that may trigger it, but first Wraith is on the way, as well as the add-on for that. So we'll be able to get at least a couple out, but will he scout that it is this? I mean, you can kind of assume maybe that this is coming, but you can always guess wrong. And there is the Armory. The Rax continues to float, and he will very soon scout the... There he scouts it just now, and now he knows exactly what he's playing against.
Yeah, and he sees it's 2 port. This is a massive commitment from TerrOr, and already I think Dandy's got it because he seems to be playing the map more than TerrOr. Like, TerrOr's sitting back, and Longinus is a map where you can just get contained really freaking hard. Like you can see, Danny's already got mine set up. He's already on high ground here. I really do like how Danny's playing it so far. Now, he is going to lose his racks, which hurts, but he does already have 3 factories, so he's already going to have enough production to stop 1 fact, 2 ports, obviously, and he has his armory about to complete. So I think Dandy may set up a contain that literally never gets busted out of, because TerrOr just isn't going to have the unit count.
Yeah. Now the Wraiths should be able to get a little bit of damage done, maybe, but nothing major, like maybe a couple of kills here. We can already see the first couple of turrets started, and actually it's probably going to finish. These turrets are going to finish by the time the Wraiths get over here. So maybe he just like picks off the SCV building the factory, and that's about all the damage he's probably going to get done here.
Yep, he picks off 1. Maybe he'll get that one. He is going to get that one, but turret's going to complete in just a second. First 2 tanks are already completed, obviously. Goliath is going to come out. And this is the problem with 2-port Wraith is you can see how slow the factories are. 7:15, second factory, about to complete. And these factories are already done. He's already got map presence with the mines also. Now this is, again, how TerrOr catches you off guard. Who in their right minds builds 2 starports, builds 3 race, and then goes into 5 fact? I don't even know if he got Cloak. He may have even canceled Cloak.
Yeah, and we actually see Dandy killing his turret there. I guess it was blocking his gas mining there a little bit. But feeling comfortable enough to do that now. Scan going down, know exactly where the mines are. So TerrOr's even going to get out on the map here a little bit before the hard contain kind of sets in. But of course, Dandy can still kind of contain, set up on the high ground, which looks like what his plan is going to be with the mines there, with the tanks coming across. A couple of tanks were there earlier. I guess he pulled them back, but he would still be able to get a contain on the high ground on kind of those 3 bases there that TerrOr can get.
And oh my gosh, Academy just starts. Remember, he was showing Cloak. He hasn't, or he was showing the upgrade, but he actually doesn't have it. Otherwise, he would be, poking in on these units. So the delayed oh, he does have it. I'm surprised. I thought he canceled it, especially when he saw those units. Maybe he thinks Dandy has Comsat, but he actually doesn't.
Yeah, so picking maybe, is he going to get this tank? Okay, no, he does pull it back to the range of that turret in time there.
No.
Wraiths are going to fly around. Don't want to lose them though. Ooh, does lose one of them. Still has 2 alive, but... Alright, now tanks moving out here. This is crazy. This is a lot of gas. It's like he's still building wraiths too. It feels like to me, like how can he afford all this on 2 gas?
That's what I think a lot of times when I play versus Terror. I'm like, wait, what, man? How do you have so many more tanks than I do? But he always does, and that was a huge hit. Both of those connect, and now, like I said, this is the position that you want as Terran. You're sitting on the high ground. Tell me how Dandy actually busts this. He has to attack uphill into siege mode. I mean, you don't have any super tanky units like Zealot, right? So this is going to be so hard to get out of, but it is Longinus, so he can, you know, swoop around the side. We do have a drop ship coming in from Terror. Interesting follow-up.
It's just kind of crazy. Like, the opening from Terror just screamed, like you said earlier, that Dandy was going to be the one getting the contain, but here we are now. Terror is getting that position set up. He's got Wraiths out, now he's got a drop ship. Like, what is even going on here? How is Terror staying up? Now, this drop ship is going to be scouted here by that Vulture if Dandy was watching. His screen didn't go over there, but he still could have seen it on the minimap. So.
Yeah, but see, now Terror finds these units, and he may unsiege his contain and try and bust the low ground. He doesn't have any vultures, but remember, he has 5 factories. He could easily pump out 5, 10 vultures instantly and just collide into that small paltry army that's defending bottom. Now, Dandy's going for a 4th command center. That is very risky versus a guy like Terror, who loves to pump units on 2 bases. We got this drop coming in. It's just a single tank, but this is going to be quite annoying.
Yeah, very nice here. Laying down some mines. And this will get cleaned up, but of course going to be a bit annoying, as you said. One thing I like that Terror did was he knew that timing. He's like, I realized Dandy may have been going for a 4th. He dropped a Vulture off real quick there, thinking like Dandy could have been starting a 4th base. And just missing the SCV going up to there to do that. So just kind of showing how aware he is. Oh, look at the abuse of these kind of positions in here. At least this is Terran versus Terrans. He kind of hit that. If that was like, I don't know, something else, Protoss or something, I'd be like, what do I do?
Yeah, but look, Terror's doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. He's getting all of his units together. The drop was just to pull units out of position. This is what you can do as Terran. He's coming down. There's only 5 tanks in siege mode. They get off a decent shot, but look how many tanks there are. There are like 12 tanks. It's just unreal how many tanks this guy has, and this is just going to get blasted.
Yeah, like Dandy has so many units out of position, and by the time he gets over here, the damage is done. This is insane. Like, Dandy would have had enough if he was in position, but like he was totally out of position. And now look at this sieging up here. Going to be able to siege down the net, and this is just going to force Dandy to trade so inefficiently. He's pulling so many SCVs to try and defend this. SCVs fighting tanks in the back and in the front. I think maybe he can clear these out if he pulls enough SCVs, but the damage has been done. Look at the supplies here. Like, nice move from Terror.
Yeah, well, Dandy did clean that up much better than I thought. However, Terror actually doesn't have that many units left over. He's going to engage this tank. He needs to set up some more mines like that. But Dandy has good production too. He has 5-fact production. So actually, Dandy is, I think, going to hold this. It was way too far forward with the tanks, and Terror does get punished for it.
Yeah. Wow, now Dandy does have that extra command center up, so he can reproduce those SCVs, get mining. You know, that isn't a gas base, so it's not the hugest deal in the world. You have a group of vultures going to see if that double gas base was taken, but as we can see, it was not. Vultures will kill the SCVs that are up there. Now, 3rd command center has been started for Terror, almost done there, so he'll be able to get back mining as well, and the supply advantage still in Terror's favor here in this game.
Yeah, it's still a fine position for both. Of course, Terra's still going to have high ground advantage here, but he's got his 3rd command center coming up. He's got 4th command center coming up also, but Dandy does have his 3rd base already landed, already mining. He is down 10 supply. Like I said, I think Dandy got extremely lucky that Terra went that far forward. Imagine if he just sat those 10 tanks outside the net. I mean, you're just never getting out, ever. So, game is going to play on. A good catch here, killing a decent amount of vultures. Yeah,
now we do have Terra moving up here with a group of units, but we'll be able to clean out those vultures, so I'd like to see Dandy maybe pull those back. Looks like he will save a couple of them, laying some mines in his retreat. Gotta be a little bit careful. Okay, we'll take him back now. 3rd base up here for both players, so first game we've actually seen players get to a 3rd base here in this series. This one has the potential to go the distance, or at least go a little bit longer now that both players are kind of getting situated on 3 bases. But TerrOr is still pushing forward with these 3 tanks. We'll see if he can get a favorable position here.
Yeah, even though TerrOr has the high ground here at the bottom side, he needs to be careful to not overextend, because Dandy realizes that his only way to actually get out is through the top side. So he's going to have a lot of units in that position. You don't want to be too far thin, setting up a double contain. We find more vultures falling for Dandy. Does anybody have +1 right now? I mean, the game's so chaotic, maybe nobody has it. Okay, Dandy has it. Not sure. Okay, TerrOr does not have it. So if Science Facility's done, he will have +2 coming, and we've got a Wraith switch, and we have no idea if Dandy has been scanning for this at all.
Yeah, I mean, this could always be a possibility, knowing that he opened with the 2-port Wraith, but you kind of forget about it in a game like this. It's like, okay, he switched away from Wraiths, right? He's not remaking them or anything. We do have Wraiths, but only 1-port Wraith, so this is something that could catch Dandy off guard. He doesn't really have a lot of anti-air around here. There's nothing protecting his tanks. There's only the single turret in his main and natural, and he's got a couple of scans, no Goliaths. So this could definitely be something that catches him off guard. And if those get in and pick off some tanks, it could leave an opening for TerrOr to push in again and take out a base.
Yeah, I think also TerrOr spotted that there was 1 port, so this 2-port follow-up is perfect. That's a scan that sees the contain there, but that scan means that he didn't scan the main. So again, he still has no idea. 2 Wraith are going to show themselves, but like you said, I think he just flat out forgot what the openers were. These 2 Wraiths are 100% dead anytime TerrOr wants to show the Wraiths, and he is showing them right now. Here he comes. It's 7 or 6. There's no Goliaths. 0. Nada. So these 2 Wraiths are done for, and he can push all the way through. Also, oh my god, the scan goes off. SC or SCVs were pulled at the same time because Dandy thought he was going to bust it. Nope. Now what does Dandy do?
Yeah, no turrets, no anti-air. Why is TerrOr turning back? He can just pick up all of these tanks, or at least a good chunk of these tanks here. Before those turrets finish, he can pick off a few of them and maybe give himself an opportunity to push down here if he wants. They are quite clumped up, so they will do a lot of damage, but some free tanks. TerrOr, once again, just a little bit ahead here, showing that he was prepared for Dandy's Wraiths.
Oh, and the turrets are out of range, so they're going to pick off some more tanks. What TerrOr needs to do now is just set up like the 7 tanks he had sieged here, and then just swoop around and deny top middle. That's all you have to do on this map. TerrOr will get starved out. Like, you're going to have the quadruple gas because TerrOr already has bottom right, and there's literally nothing Dandy can do. He doesn't have enough race to push out. He only has 1 starport, so he can't even build up dropships. I mean, he's got the +2 weapon upgrade, but that's really the only advantage he has right now. But he can't exploit that advantage.
Yeah, because of these racers. Now he does have a group of vultures running in here behind the army. I don't know what TerrOr has back. Okay, it looks like he does have enough to maybe deal with this. Yep. I was like, maybe he can get the vultures in and kill a bunch of SCVs, but here, now TerrOr doing what you said. He's pushing up here. He wants to get that high ground. Dandy realizing this is the potential. He can't let him get this. He's coming up here, but these tanks are all just going to die. This is just, this is not what you want to see. Not like this, right? Like, that was just painful to watch. And now, like, it feels like TerrOr is just going to get quite a stranglehold on this game. And what can Dandy do from here?
Yeah, it was a move command because Dandy was harassing the 3rd base with the vultures, and TerrOr on top of it, he's going to just kill the 3rd base more than just harass it. Absolutely no counterplay. It's a 50 supply lead now for TerrOr. He's going to lose all of his race, so maybe a couple race from Dandy could eventually pick off these tanks, but I think we're just going to see the GG any moment now. Tanks are dying, Goliaths are dying. Look how fast they're dying. He cleaned up the vulture harassment at bottom right, and there it is. GG, and it's 3 straight wins to TerrOr.
Wow, yeah. Very impressive, and that's got way on your mind as Dandy. Okay, it's 3-1, like you have a game, but you didn't actually win any games here. Like, TerrOr has been dominating you. That's got to weigh in, right? Like, what do you do? What do you bring to pull against TerrOr? He's just playing phenomenally, just stopping everything Dandy's trying or just running him over any chance he gets. I'm worried for Dandy here.
Yes, so far there's been no answer. There's no answer in the early game. There's no answer in the mid game. In the late game, where Dandy even stabilizes, there's no answer. He was completely blindsided from the mid game race, And I guess he just totally forgot about him, never scanned, and TerrOr takes game 3. I mean, honestly, he should have won with his first tank bust, but it happens sometimes. You overextend, and the game stabilizes, so a bit of a misstep there, but in the end, it doesn't matter. And now TerrOr, one game away. You don't have many map choices left. You've got Vermeer, you've got Gladiator, and you've got Butter. And there's no map there where I'm thinking, okay, I think Dandy's a favorite on.
Yeah. I mean, because of how aggressive TerrOr's been playing, maybe you pick a larger map. Maybe you go with one of the 4-player maps here. Go for your gasless, or even just go for the gasless map. I don't know. But I guess we'll see. It is what he wants to pick, what he thinks his do-or-die map is going to be here.
Yep, since this is your last lifeline, I think you have to play the map that's most comfortable. Butter's a fine map. I don't think I'm picking Gladiator. I think I would actually pick Vermeer just because it's so Polypoid-esque. I think it's just a pretty standard map. I would go with that. I think it really is just Butter or Vermeer 100% of the time, never Gladiator. We'll see though, but we haven't seen Dandy gasless expand at all. Well, it can't be launched. Whoa, what? How do we pick Gladiator? How's that happen? Well,
that is curious, yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick. Maybe TerrOr's the one that needs to be on the back foot this time, because this is the last life for Dandy. If he loses here, he's out. So let's find out if he can turn it around. Okay, in the top left, he needs your energy because this is his last game potentially. It's Dandy.
Oh, that was TerrOr at the top left. In the bottom right.
Oh, there. My bad.
Oh, we got her straight, but here in the bottom right, in the red, it is Dandy. Who does need your energy for sure? Give him all your energy. Give him all the help you can, because he needs a win here, or he is done for. But this is definitely an interesting pick, like you said. I mean, TerrOr has been going for those aggressive plays, and this is one map where the aggressive player can just punish you on, right? Especially depending on what strategy, what kind of aggression they want to go for. But it's definitely a map that can be punishing for an aggressor can be advantaged. So yeah, we will see. It is cross map, so that's potentially good here for Dandy. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think this is a good TerrOr map. The reason I say that is, if we look at the game on Longinus, other than the initial mines, Dandy was slow on the gun to set up a contain. It was TerrOr that was quick to set up the contain. And you think about all the ledges here. There's a ledge all over the place on Gladiator. If there's ever an opening that TerrOr finds, he's going to instantly pounce on that ledge. And TerrOr's all about TVT is all about positioning. So I really do like TerrOr on this map. We again have a forward Rax, and again I think this is designed to punish the gasless. But we do see that Dandy is going to completely blindside me here. No games are going to be gasless.
Yeah, and like I hinted at earlier, maybe this is because he knows that TerrOr knows that he prefers gasless, and that's why he's mixing it up. But maybe that's also why he hasn't been, doing as well in these games, or why TerrOr keeps running away, because maybe he's more comfortable with gasless, right? He's not as experienced doing the gas openings here. And TerrOr's being able to exploit that, take advantage of that, find these little holes or little places where he can get an advantage, not let go and punish Dandy. So is that going to happen again here? I don't know.
Well, the forward Rax, he's going to build multiple Marines, obviously. He's not going to... Well, I mean, it's also Gladiator, so he has high ground advantage. If Dandy sits below his ramp, well, he may not trade effectively versus the Marines. Also, I've noticed that Dandy consistently has only built one Marine. So if he floats this Rax off, he might already be in trouble. Okay, thankfully, there is going to be 2 Marines produced at least. Look at that. What's that?
Proxy hidden depot? It's like a Protoss hidden pylon or something here. Maybe trying to throw Dandy off or something. It's like, where's your depot? What's going on? What are you doing, right? Yeah. But we'll see. SCV is scouting everything here in TerrOr's base. A couple of Marines going to pick this up. Looks like, yeah, TerrOr did send that Marine back. Or no, there's something going to... Oh, that's the SCV that went. Going to the right side of the map. Is he going to proxy something over there?
He looks like he's going to, but I actually don't like this. And The reason I say that is because Dandy, he saw one depot, right? He's probably thinking like a second factory is probably like already halfway done. So to proxy, okay, I don't know what he's thinking because he just takes a command center. Anyways, this is going to be a proxy. I don't know what it is. It could be either one. It could be starport or factory. Oh, that's a starport at the bottom right of Dandy's base.
Yeah.
Oh.
2-port. Okay, he's like, well, my 2 base 2-port didn't work last game. Let's go 1 base 2-port this game. But Vulture is out on the map and he's scouting for this.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna find it.
He is going to find it. So this time around, finally, luck is on Dandy's side, and this is a massive pickoff. It's still going to complete, though. I mean, at least that goes for TerrOr. He literally, like 1 second away from denying that starport would have been massive.
Yeah, but he will get a Wraith, and Dandy does have his own starport now, so he is going to be able to get a Wraith to counter that, and he can repair it with his own SCVs at least, because the Wraith is going to be able to get there a little bit quicker here, and TerrOr will have the Wraith advantage, numbers advantage, but with the SCV repair and a couple of Marines back at home, I think he should be okay.
Well, this is a weird situation, not just for TerrOr, but as you stated, the Wraith advantage is going to be for Dandy. But TerrOr can, or for TerrOr, but Dandy can, or TerrOr can potentially try and sneak an add-on. And if he ever sneaks in Cloak, well, I don't think Dandy would ever suspect that. But, okay, he's going to counter this by going into 2 starport and make sure that that never happens and always has a decent, almost equal Wraith count. Pulling off the Marines, that's great.
Barracks landing in Dandy's base is going to start making Marines. No, okay.
Yeah, but see, this is what I was talking about. The add-on, he's going to try and sneak Cloak, but if Dandy ever gets 2 Wraith here, right? Like, he's just going to go kill it. He's just going to go kill that Wraith.
Yeah. And he will be able to get that out. He's going for Cloak himself, so interesting situation. The thing is,
that
like,
is...
Dandy... Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Dandy already has his expansion up too, right? So... he's just like, he's going to be able to counter this, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe. But either way, he's just going to have such an advantage economically. Like, it's just going to be so hard for TerrOr to fight back.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, like, imagine if TerrOr didn't put the add-on there. He would have 2 Wraith right now. And Dandy has 1. I realize Dandy has 2 starports, but probably TerrOr could get his 3rd Wraith out by the time those 2 pop out. So he could have just nailed that mineral line forever. Like, it's such just a gamble from both sides to put on their add-on. Neither are going to get punished just yet. Dandy's putting down his academy, so is TerrOr. Neither player has comp set just yet, though. Oh, mine's already set up.
And they hit. They're going to kill the tank.
And the Marines. Oh, that was great.
Great if you're TerrOr, not so much if you're Dandy. Losing a tank and 2 Marines to a couple of mines there randomly. That's kind of what TerrOr needed or wanted to happen there. So nice placement, I guess, expecting some move like that coming out from Dandy to go after that starport.
And I'm just realizing right now the supply. It's 52 to 42. I'm not sure exactly where the lead is. Of course, we know TerrOr has a couple Vultures at least. But he may actually be closer in workers than I anticipated. These Wraiths do have Cloak, though. So Dandy may just be able to get a killing blow here because I don't think TerrOr expects this at all. He has no scans, whereas Dandy does have scans. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, but how quick can he get that Cloak off? Okay, he does get it off before losing any of the Wraiths. You have a split coming out here from TerrOr, but will it be enough? His own scan is just about to finish up. See if he can fly in there and pick off at least the hurt Wraith, even off those Wraith numbers, maybe. But this is a lot of damage. He's killing a lot of SCVs here.
Ooh, he almost got one of the Wraiths, but yeah, he's damaged 2 of them. But the problem is it's 5 versus 2. All of the SCVs are going to fall. A turret is scrambling to get up, but this is the damage that Dandy needed. Now a 3rd Wraith. Oh, he catches one in transition, but he got to shoot it, and it runs out of vision.
GG is called. Nice. So we do see Dandy take a game here. And he really needed that. I mean, that was do or die, right? He needed to take that game, and he did. So we got a bit of a series. It's still an uphill battle for him, but it starts with that 1 win.
Yeah, now it's 3-2, and he's going to be feeling really good that he's finally shut down this guy's shenanigans. I was very worried for Danny because I'm like watching him expand, and I see no ad, and I'm like, dude, this really does look like he procced a factory. So I was happy to see him send a vulture to the right side and scout it. He was aware that, hey, dude, you're definitely proxying something. It was a great intuition. And now this is manageable, 3-2. He can definitely turn it around. It's going to be TerrOr's map pick now. However, only 2 maps left available, and both of them are pretty normal, and I'm sure that both players can be fine playing on them.
Yep.
No, I'm fine with no break. Let's just finish the series if these players are ready.
Yeah, I'm good if we're both here.
So we are just waiting for the map pick, and then we'll be getting into potentially the final game of the series. TerrOr up 3-2. Dandy finally puts a win on the board, as I mentioned before. It's his first win, even though he has 2 wins, because he gets a free win since he's coming from the winner's bracket.
Yeah, but it's still a tall order. He still has to win the next 2 games if he wants to win this. I mean, he has to do what TerrOr did, right, and win 3 in a row. It is doable. I mean, someone like Dandy's caliber can definitely win the next 2 games here, but we'll see what TerrOr has up his sleeve here and what map he picked. I think it might have been Vermeer. I'm expecting maybe Vermeer here, but we'll see. It could have been Butter as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Vermeer also. And I think this time around, TerrOr just needs to play a more normal-ish game. I think he's gone for the all-in-ish, not necessarily all-in-ish, but the like shenanigans one too many times, so we may just see some standard play. Players are ready. Let's get in potentially the final game of our final series in the Latin American Championship. Okay, in the top left, taking back a point, it is Dandy.
All right, and still match point 1 game away from winning it all. It is TerrOr in the blue. All right, so they share the same side of the map. We haven't seen Gasless yet from Dandy, and he said he prefers it. This is kind of a map I could see him going Gasless, though it could be a map TerrOr might say, oh, I think you're going to go Gasless now because you haven't all series, and maybe I gamble with 8 racks.
Yeah, he definitely could. I mean, 8 racks is a build that you can transition out of. You just need to focus fire down, I would say, 2 SCVs, and then you kind of even up the score. There has been no SCV sent out, though, so it is just going to be a normal opener. I would like to see somebody go for an eco opener, whether it's TerrOr with Gasless or potentially 14cc, or Dandy doing the same. I really do want to see a mix-up here. I really don't want to see TerrOr continue to mine gas, is basically what I'm saying. I want to see something normal-ish.
Yeah, a little bit more of a standard type TVT. That last game maybe a bit. We did have that one, like, it was the last game, a little bit longer, right? But so far, a lot of these have been, or no, sorry, it's the game before the Gladiator, yeah. But most of these have been pretty quick. Now it does look like just going to be a forward barracks here from both players. Keep an eye on that gas, see if someone wants to go for a gases. I know, I really want to see Dandy do at least 1 game, just because you were hyping up how much he likes to go for that gasless. So maybe he's more comfortable in the transitions from gasless expand, but it does look like he's just going to take that gas here once again.
Yep, 12 gas, TerrOr 12 gas. So this is as normal as it gets. You can see TerrOr, he's burning up that keyboard though. Look at that APM, 700. Yep. He is tearing it up, man. That's like 5 quarks right there, dude. That is crazy APM.
Yeah, I noticed that a couple of games too. He's just like spamming. You can tell both these guys are going hard, right, with this kind of APM here in the early game. Now, where are our players going to go? Gases are finishing up here. Just going to get a couple of Marines. Now, scouting does go in favor here of Dandy a little bit. Did scout that correct direction, whereas TerrOr scouted the wrong way first. But seeing that scout timing, yeah, okay, I was going to say, seeing that scout timing, knowing they sent their scouts about the same time, wonder if he's just going to go cross, expecting or assuming that that's where Dandy is.
Yep. That's exactly what he's going to do. And look at this. TerrOr's doing his Terran versus Protoss build. It's 1 on gas. He's going to build a command center. So it's that hybrid opener. He put the SCV on hold position. So Dandy got absolutely no intel. And in fact, the SCV took a lot of damage too. So he can't even try and run by these Marines at the natural, so he has no idea what this is.
Yeah, but wait, Dandy did get scouted here by TerrOr, so TerrOr knows exactly what he's up against, so maybe a little bit of advantage there for TerrOr, despite the fact that Dandy sent his SCV out first. He's going to be able to push that out, but where do the players go now with this SCV? Okay, we'll get in, we'll scout. The command center hasn't started. Oh, he doesn't quite get up the ramp there because he hits that little corner. Bit unfortunate for him, but he should know everything he wants to know at this point.
Yeah, but that's fine, though. He at least confirms that it... Well, I mean, really, you just never see this type of opener in Terran versus Terran. He may not even realize that this was a delayed factory. It may have just been like a cut SCV to get up a slightly faster command center. We do see he is building a vulture. I like how Terror is putting down a bunker in response. And this is going to be 2-fact follow-up for TerrOr.
All right. So does this mean Dandy's just going to go like 3-fact follow-up or something?
Nope, he's got the add-on already.
Okay.
He may... I mean, he still could go 3-fact, but a lot of times people are not putting their add-on this quickly. So this could be like a tank push. Ooh, he ran by the vulture and used the Marine. Oh my, how do you catch that with SCVs? I can't believe he caught that. He needs to unload the bunker though, try and get this vulture. The vulture does, of course, full damage to all the units down here, so you gotta be very careful. But what amazing control from both sides. Oh, you can't let that slip away. Wow, impeccable.
That was crazy glitch and catching that. Nice run by, but TerrOr on top of it, not letting it, that vulture have free reign in the main or anything. First tank comes out here, now 4, and the SCV getting in there for TerrOr as well, so he's going to confirm exactly the factory count. He's going to see the tank add-on. He knows everything that Dandy's up to at the moment.
Well, he sees 1-fact, but he doesn't have a starport, so actually this looks like it's 1-fact, 1 starport. So you can see TerrOr's putting down an armory right now, but really it's wasted money for him unless he's intending to get rush +1, which you don't necessarily do. So a bit of an anti-scout timing for TerrOr. I honestly don't know what Dandy's doing right now because he's mining his gas really fast at his net, but you often don't do in TVT unless it's starport.
Is he just going to power up here on 2 base or something? Like, just add a bunch of facts? That way you get the second gas so early? Like, it feels like a waste if you're only going to be sitting here on 2-3 facts or something, right?
Well, that's one source or one way to use your gas. He's going 2-fact tank Goliath with a starport. Now, this is an old style build where more than likely he's going to be getting drop ships. But if you can get 2 or even 3, it can be very punishing. And now that I'm looking at the terrain, if somehow Dandy can push to the 3rd base of TerrOr, like at mid-left, and then also elevator units into the high ground, all of a sudden he can siege from the low ground with also stuff in TerrOr's main, and that seems like a super deadly combo.
Ooh, yeah, I see what you're saying there. That if that's the plan and he can pull that off, that would be actually pretty cool or amazing to see. But it looks like TerrOr is going to push this out. We can see the Goliath built, expecting that maybe that starport like you were saying, but of course we see that's not the case. 3rd factory coming down as well with this starport, so there is the add-on, so this probably will be dropships like you're saying. We'll have to see. Is TerrOr going to be ready for something like this?
TerrOr already moving out. He does have to be careful because of that right there. Mines are being placed. Luckily for him, he does see it. I did see Comsat going down at his natural, so he is going to have scan pretty soon. 3rd factory, actually 4th factory, so again, TerrOr really ramping up his production, just like he did in Longinus.
Yeah, we'll see if he throws down some scans here, maybe scouts that starport and potential dropship coming here on the way. It should be a dropship, no cloak being researched, so I pretty much guarantee that's what it is. 4th factory here as well for Dandy. Just laying some mines. Scan's going to go down on some of these mines, so he's probably not going to scan for that starport here, just use the scans to clear out some mines. So this could still potentially catch him off guard, especially if his units are going to be out on the map. He may not have the units back at home to defend the incoming drop.
Yep, just like in TVP where Protoss players are way too far out or out of position with their goons, you can punish a Terran player setting up a contain like this with a dropship. It's just one, and there is a lot of production for Terror, so this may not deal the damage that Dandy was looking for. The Sim City also kind of helps Terror here. He can plop a single depot between the refinery and the depots and maybe limit the damage, but nope, just gonna fly right over all of that, straight into the mineral line, and now it's 4 vultures. Oh, good drill!
Yeah, but even quicker pickup there too from Dan getting those. But that's gonna buy Terra a few seconds to get some of his own units. It's still 4 vultures against 3 here, so got to be a little bit careful. Those vultures gonna be able to target down vultures up Terra and still pick off some SCVs. It's not gonna maybe do the damage you wanted, but it's still getting a lot of damage. Actually, all 4 vultures still alive here for Dandy. Gonna only lose 2 and pick up and see if he can get some damage done. So he did get a little bit of damage with that at least.
Yeah, really good trade for Dandy right there. We do see Terror is in position or setting up to get into position to attack this natural. There's no siege mode. If all these units were across the map, I think Terror would scan and go for it. We do see Dandy moving across the map. This is going to get weird because both players, or I guess Terror or Dandy doesn't know that Terror's already across the map, whereas Terror does know that you're coming, so he's going to try and set up this. Oh, that was a big hit! Connects onto a tank.
Yeah, killing a couple of vultures in the process. Oh, what is this? Terror gonna go for like a backstab kind of a push here, or is he just gonna set up like a little bit of a contain maybe on this side? This is interesting positioning here. It's like his units are gonna be stuck almost in like no man's land. He kind of, I guess, has a contain on the natural, but he could get crushed or sandwiched here from Dandy and lose all of these tanks, especially if he puts those vultures or a couple SCVs out front to take the first tank hits.
Yeah, what I think is going to happen was, first off, he's going to try and knock down 1 or 2 tanks for free, but Dandy may just unload that dropship, draw attention there, and then instantly bust it. So Terra's aware of that. He's scrambling to get some units or get some vultures into position, lay a bunch of mines, and here he goes. Okay, that's a fantastic scan. Terra sees it. He needs to lay mines ASAP, which he is. He needs to focus fire with the tanks. Oh, all the vultures have died. That's a good shot from Dandy, but the vulture timing was impeccable, and he ends up losing none of the tanks.
Oh, guys get one in the end, but yeah, like I said, that was like perfect timing there coming out from Terror. Nice plays there. So Dandy not getting what he wanted to clear out those tanks. Now those tanks still feel like they're in a vulnerable position, but with those mines does buffer him by that space. Oh, drop coming back in here now. Terror not quite watching. Maybe you guys pick up a few SCVs and get back out of there. So nice little multitask from Dandy, getting a couple more SCV kills where he can. Still, I feel like, I think Dandy's in a pretty good spot here overall.
Yeah, Dandy's in a good spot. He's got his science facility coming in, so that means that his +1 weapon is done or is about to finish. You can see that the tank count just really isn't that big in this contain. Both players are hovering around the same supply, but Dandy has better map control. He's going to be able to take his 3rd base easier once he's wiped out these tanks. More vultures coming in. This time around, there's just flat out too many tanks. They're going to pop that one, pop a second one maybe?
Looks like yes. Tank goes down. That tank 2 HP, 1 hit from death. So this is all but cleared out here from Dandy now. And now Dandy has really an army. He's got that high ground position too. It looks like Terror maybe wants to try and bust in here. But with that high ground,
it's going to
be enough. Oh, free tank there as well. Another free tank. So Dandy's just trading really efficiently all over. Another tank even. Killing 3 tanks, not losing a single one there. Just 1 in the end. So nice trades. Dandy's army is just so much bigger. It feels like, can he just like push across? Drop coming back in, but a glance there this time. Sorry,
I think he can. If the units of Terror stay back to defend that drop, I think he really could push through this. Well, maybe not. That's quite a few tanks. That's more than I was anticipating. Regardless, though, Dandy has a huge stranglehold over that position of the map. And that means that Terror really, I mean, if he ever wants to attack, he's going to have to loop all the way around to the right side, then to the top. I like how Dandy's expanding to mid-left, because that's going to be a contested base the longer the game goes, whereas the top middle base, for example, right next to him, I mean, if Dandy can't get that base, honestly, Terror's probably already won the game, right? Like, if you're ever denying that base the entire game, I mean, you know you're just at a massive advantage. So I like how he's taking mid-left as opposed to top middle. And look at that scan. Perfect. Catches the double starport follow-up.
Yeah, so Dandy really on top of his game. And another reason I like that base goes back to a lot of the other matchups too, right? If you're the race that's pushing, like Protoss against Zerg or Terran against Protoss, you can expand behind your push, right? And you're kind of protecting that expansion. Since Dandy has this position, he can protect that expansion with his army here and mine as much as he can for free. And because it's, like you said, it's one of those bases that could be in contention, the more he can mine from it now, the better it can be if this game goes the distance.
Exactly, and we do have a decent supply lead for Dandy. It's about 15 right now. Terran versus Terran obviously can swing heavily one side or the other in one single engagement, so it's not like Terror's out of it, but to be down an upgrade and I know the science facility has been done a while. That's a spinning armory for probably 1 or 2 minutes. +2 is going to be completing pretty soon, which is a massive power spike for Terran. So Terror needs to have like a very favorable engagement, but just looking at the map as it is right now, I don't see how you're ever going to have one. I mean, Dandy just has a really strong foothold in the center.
Yeah, and you can see him pushing more units out to the right side of the map there, just kind of continue to spread his tanks out, continue to try and enclose or encompass Terror in his little corner of the map here, right? You can kind of see how he's taking the middle, making a little bit of arc. Terror realizing this is a possibility, though, pushing his tanks forward here, wanting to set up at least on that high ground so he can kind of deny it. A couple mines are hitting those tanks, so nice pickup there for Terror, and it will. Oh, Valkyrie coming out here to fight the race, but Goliath's in position to take that out.
Well, that is more stuff than I was thinking at the third base for Dandy. I mean, it is annoying. It's buying a lot of time because actually Terror might be the one that gets a faster fourth base in. That is the case. Finally, Dandy's going to clear up those 3 Goliaths and 2 tanks, but they definitely were worth their weight. They got a lot of kills, a lot of tank kills, and a lot of ultra kills, so not a bad trade for Terror. But like I said, the upgrades is the key thing for me, that he's really lacking them. I think we may actually just see a BC game from Terror unless he can somehow catch up in the +2 upgrades pretty soon. Okay, well, that's one way to get back. We've got 4 drop ships. Oh, he spots them again. Clutch scans from Dandy.
Yeah. Oh, his scans have been on point this game, haven't they? But we'll see those drop ships on the way now. Does Dandy have anything in position to deal with them yet? It looks like they're going to drop out over here. If he can get an unload and get position on that choke, but instead Dandy is going to use this as his time to go, realizing so many of the units are stuck in those drop ships and not with his army. Feels he can now press his advantage here, maybe push into the Nat, take out the third or the Nat, and I think he has more than enough to do it.
Oh my god, that was an amazing play right there. He scanned to see how much was actually in set up for defense, and he just pushes through. Now he's going to shut down the third base. He's going to push in and shut down the natural. Sure, Terror's going to shut down this base, but there's no way he's going to hold this. Look how many tanks there are. In fact, Terror needs to pull all of his SCVs. Problem is he doesn't have anything to combo it with, so all the SCVs are just going to die instantly. Then the tanks and the Goliaths from the drop are going to come in, and it's just not synced up.
Yeah, it looks like he kills those couple of tanks. Oh, but he loses some. Is this just like a game-ending move here, Ken? It looks like he's going to drop on the high ground and try and use that high ground advantage to hold his position here. But he's going to lose the natural in third base, right? Like, natural has already gone down. A couple of tanks getting unloaded, but they get picked up instantly. I feel like Terrace is probably going to have to GG here. Maybe he can somehow get some sort of defense, but it's just he's taking way too much damage, even if he somehow holds his ramp.
Yeah, even if he holds... holds is a relative word, right? Like, he's going to lose this Nat, he's going to lose this third base. But I guess what I'm saying is, even if he survives here, his entire army has been reset. Dandy's going to still have... Oh my god! Massive hits! GG, that triggered it right there. Terror, he is going to lose, and that means Dandy is going to tie the series 3-3.
That's crazy. Nice comeback here from Dandy. We do have a game 7. This is insane. Like, now you got to feel that the momentum's in Dandy's favor, right? He was down 3-1 and he won 2 games, knowing that it's 1 game away. He's got to be feeling really good about his play now, like feeling like he can do this. I'm all of a sudden, Team Dandy maybe. Like, maybe he can take this series down.
I was definitely not Team Dandy after the first 3 games. I'm watching and I'm like, okay, well, this guy just has no answers to TerrOr. Like, TerrOr's just obliterating this guy, like absolutely no counterplay. But now Dandy putting 2 wins on the board in a row in this game. I mean, there wasn't really anything that went unusually well for Danny in the early stages that gave him a big lead. Like, everything was just very standard. And to win a just standard straight up game, you're going to be feeling really confident now going into game 7, and this could go either way for sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be on butter. I mean, 2-player map is a little bit different 2-player map than you might normally see. You know, normally you don't have players spawning on the same side here. So what do you think about butter for TBT?
I think, again, this is going to be another map similar to Longinus, where both players are going to be fighting for that high ground, and whoever gets it is going to be at a massive advantage. Let's see if either player thinks the way I do. Can somebody get the high ground advantage and compound that and turn that into a lead? It's the final game of the series. Let's crown our champion. Is it going to be Dandy or TerrOr? Okay, in the top right, our blue Terran, it is TerrOr.
All right, and coming back from being down 3-1 to tie it up, it is our red Terran, Dandy. All right, well, Game 7, little Game 7 hype here. I was not expecting this when it was 3-1, but we got it, so this is exciting, right? Game 7, do or die, both players. Winner is the champion. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is so nuts. I thought for sure that this was going to be like a 4-0 for TerrOr simply because of how well he's playing, but Dandy bringing it back, and TerrOr's going to be thinking back to that Overwatch game. Is this guy proxying me? Look at that. Depot at the bottom of his base, and that's because he's thinking that there could be potentially a proxy. Now, this SCV being sent out so early, I think it's 4 forward racks, but it feels quite quick, actually. So this may not be an 11 racks. This could be like a 10 racks. Nope, actually I see him queue another SCV. So I guess it is just going to be a normal forward racks, but really, this seems really fast. Look how deep he's going too. Whoa.
Yeah, very far forward, 11 racks here. Maybe he can't find a place to put it, or what? What is he?
Yeah, I don't think you can build up there. Oh my gosh, I haven't played this map enough to know whether you can build. Okay, yeah. I guess he wanted to build up there and then found out, well, I can't. So now he's just building in his main, and already I would say Dandy's got a pretty sizable, well, not sizable, but a decent advantage already.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to play on your mentality a little bit too. You were up 3-1. It's tied up now 3-3, and you all of a sudden find out you can't do what you were planning to do. Like, you're trying, why can't I build this, right? He's got to be feeling the pressure a little bit, maybe like a little bit more stressed out. So the headspace, I would imagine, goes to Dandy's favor here at the moment. But he's also got to wonder, why was this SCV here so quickly, right? Because that's a quick scout. So it's like, why did he scout me so fast? So maybe he's got to be questioning his choices here too a little bit. Might see him make an extra couple of Marines because of that.
Yeah, that's the main thing for Danny, is he's probably like, yeah, why is this here? This shouldn't be here this fast. I am surprised that TerrOr is the one out of both players to actually go for the fast command center, but this is going to be 14 or 15 CC. Look at this! Dandy's mining gas still, because he must suspect, like, okay, you scouted fast to see if you could get away with a 14 CC? And that's exactly the correct read here.
But I have no words. No, yeah. So is this gonna work? Like, because now TerrOr had that scouting, right? Like, okay, and he is gonna get in here and confirm that the CC is coming. Does this work now?
He needs to push this SCV out. Well, I mean, he will push it out eventually, but. What do you do as TerrOr now? Like, Dandy has a lot of options. He could expand. He could proxy a starport. He could proxy a factory. And that is just going to be an in-base starport. So this is a very common follow-up. And this is hard to stop. Like, if you build one starport, you can't stop this. You have to build 2. But when you build 2, it's kind of not necessarily all in, because of course you have the command center, but I'm not the biggest fan of double starport follow-up. We'll see if he will go for it. You can also go mass factors. You can also go 3-fact, which sounds counterintuitive because you're facing tanks, right? But you just have so many of them.
Is this 2 starports or something from Dandy though? Look, there's something built on the map as well.
It's a landed racks building Marines. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the rest. I was like, what? Did he just build like something else? Is he going to port one base here or something? Okay, that makes more sense. But SCV is going to come in here and it's going to scout the no command center. Oh, TerrOr finding the right angle to get in there, and now he's going to be able to scout this. Yep. Okay, he's not going to scout the starport, but he's going to see no second factory.
Yep.
So this should probably tell him that there is a starport.
Now, that is a second factory for TerrOr. Okay, well, this is going to be hard to stop because Dandy's going to have the Wraith for vision. He's going to have the Barracks for vision. He's going to have more tanks, right? Because his factory was done faster. It's really hard to counter this play. One way you can do it is you go with a ton of Marines, and that's the reason Dandy continuously built Marines here to support that tank. Because once a single tank falls, as long as the defending player didn't lose an overwhelming amount of SCVs, it kind of snowballs really hard. Well, here we go. This is the first tank attacking that bunker. Wraith takes a small hit, and he's going to come in here and see only 2 factories.
Alright, well, we'll see what the play is. Siege mode is done. He is sieged up on that bunker now. Going to be able to take down, it looks like TerrOr is going to build a back bunker here, and that's just to buy him time, right? Force another siege, unsiege, and force him to kill it while he gets out his units, gets out enough to deal with this, but is it going to be enough? I mean, if he does defend this, Dandy's pretty much all in, because TerrOr has that expansion up, right? He has that additional mining, everything going for him in that sense, so if he can hold this off... Oh!
I thought he was going to kill that Wraith with the bunker, and this double bunker has bought TerrOr a decent amount of time. Oh, he has enough tanks now. The problem now is the vision. Oh, he's got siege. He got the first shot off, and if he gets the first shot off, that means he's gonna hold it. Marines move out to soak up hits. He pops one tank, takes out both tanks.
That's huge.
It's done. The push is done. It can never be reconsolidated. There's too much production. A single Goliath out will push back both of the Wraiths. All Dandy or all TerrOr has to do now is pull SCVs just like this, and he can never be busted anymore.
Yeah, and now it feels really bad here for Dandy. It does feel like this is pretty much game ending because he's so well in. He still has no command center even started. So tank goes down. Yeah, Dandy is just committed here. He's killing off what he can. See if he can't kill those tanks, but all he has to do is pull back to the bunker, pull back to that Goliath. And I feel like this is pretty much GG moment here for Dandy, right? Like, he may not go out. He may still try and fight on. We do see him throwing down the command center, but he is desperately far behind now.
I thought that there's no way that you're going to hold it with Tank Goliath, but TerrOr proving me wrong. Little too far forward without vision, and you can see you can get punished in an instant. Now it's going to be 2-base Terran versus just now started command center. Tank Goliath flat out beats Tank Wraith. TerrOr can get mines, get map control, and go expand to another base if he wants. I mean, he can put down a ton of factories and bust.
Yeah, it's really in his control, right? TerrOr can do pretty much anything he wants to do from this point on. He's just so far ahead after that, like having the space. Now, Dandy did kill a decent amount of SCVs. You can see not a ton of SCVs are mining there at the natural base at the moment, but that doesn't even matter all that much. He can maybe make them quickly because Dandy's still only producing off one. Wraith's trying to fly in, but TerrOr does have the turret there, and now he says it's the time to push. And what does Dandy have to even hold this off? He has a couple of tanks out front, but nothing to really buffer for them.
I've even had a game where I've been in a similar scenario where like the opposing player literally pulls 7 or 5 SCVs, something like that, with this army, and they lead the charge with SCVs. They take the hits, and then this army just kills everything. It's like you just don't have enough DPS. Goliaths aren't necessarily great versus tanks, but they soak up a lot of hits. Now, he was not expecting Cloak, so if he can knock down... Oh, actually, he was. He got scanned. I didn't even notice that he had that. And now it's 1 Wraith, 1 tank versus 2 tanks and a single Goliath.
Yeah, and only 1 factory production here. It looks like he will get the tank up and push TerrOr back for now. But he's still in a bad situation, still in a bad spot. Okay, he didn't die. He managed to hold on. But how does he ever get control or get a foothold in this game?
Yeah, all TerrOr has to do is just sit outside this guy's natural base, and he will never get out. Don't make the same mistake like he did to Longinus when he had so many tanks he overextended and ended up giving Dandy his natural again. Just sit outside this guy's base, take bases yourself, and keep rallying those tanks and Goliaths, and then it's going to be on Dandy to make a move.
Yeah, and we'll see what that move is, maybe. He is throwing down, it looks like a third factory. What kind of move do you go for here? Do you make drop ships and try and harass, or try and move around the container army?
Look at this.
The TerrOr's already got 2 starports.
Yeah. You like, the only way you can get out is to go drops, right? Well, TerrOr's aware of that. And he's also aware that there's no way in hell you're building Goliaths here, because why would you ever do that? Tank Vulture is what you want. So he's going to go into Starport. It's going to completely catch Dandy off guard. He also is aware that Dandy probably doesn't have a comm set, because that's 150 minerals that you need to just survive, that you're not thinking about getting a comm set at all. So this is fantastic transition.
Yeah. Scan going down. Will that... Okay, Wraith will probably get out. Oh, tanks taking that first hit, but a couple of tanks there should be able to pick that one off. Oh, gets out of way by buying a shot from that Goliath. Nice positioning there, and we'll save that tank. It looks like yes. Wraith does get away as well. I thought that Wraith for sure was going to go down. Does get out, but yeah, there's no anti-air, no turrets either, so this could be the game-winning move. Like, there's nothing. No turrets, no comm set. Okay, engineering bait just now starting, but if TerrOr gets across there before he can get any turrets up, what does he do against the Wraiths?
I think when Dandy saw the unusually low Goliath and tank count for how long the game's been going since the initial attack, he's now suspecting, like, okay, you might actually have Wraith. So you see the eBay come in. I think that probably triggered an armory. This is really good movement from Dandy. Yeah, he did trigger an armory, so he knows something is up. Why do you have so little? So this is good game sense from Dandy. He's not out of it just yet. He's also picked off an additional tank with the vision of the rack. So this is fantastic.
Oh, no.
Oh, so lucky.
Does get out those 2 tanks, almost losing them for free. That would not have been good. Don't want to lose any free units here. Oh, no! Then he just runs into 3 mines, or loses 3 tanks to the mines there. You hate to see it. And here come the Wraiths, and he still doesn't have... He has no anti-air over here, though. That's the problem.
It's 5 Wraiths or 4 Wraiths with Cloak. No anti-air, as you stated. There's a turret coming down, but there's no Goliath. A single Wraith. You think that's going to save the day? I don't think so. Well, I guess if you don't have scan, it might. Dandy avoids the scan somehow, but TerrOr... I mean, this is TerrOr. He's not going to give you any time to breathe. While this is happening, he pushes the natural at the same time. And TerrOr, he's moments away from the victory, and there it is. GG. TerrOr, wow. He's going to win the Latin American Championship.
And what a series that was. We had almost a little bit of everything there except for DCs, basically. But that was a fun match to watch. I know a lot of people maybe get down on TVT, but that was an exciting match for sure. And congratulations to TerrOr for taking it down.
Yeah, everybody's like, they say, like, TVT, you just camp. It's like so passive. There's no action. I mean, every single game had a ton of action. You could say, like, okay, well, maybe Vermeer, they were sitting in the center of the map for a few minutes, but every other game, constant attacks all game long, busts everywhere. Very nicely played from both players this time around. TerrOr gets the best of Dandy, but I think if we were to replay the series, for sure, Dandy could have taken it. But this time around, TerrOr, he's going to be the champion. And that is going to be the end of our Latin American Championship. Thank you so much for helping me, Cast Snipe. It was enjoyable to get your insight on the matchups, especially NbA versus TerrOr.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I didn't even know I was casting until about 15 minutes before. I saw a message from Zero like, you want to cast? I was like, oh, sure, yeah, okay, I can do that. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed casting with you as well.
Yeah, it was fun, and I look forward to casting with you in the future. I know you do a lot of Ghostly League, so I'll tune into those casts when they happen. But that is it for us today, guys. That is it for us two. After this, we've actually got more PSL. It's going to be the North American Championship, Group A. And you know who's playing it? It's your boy right here. Your boy's trying to make it into the round of 16. We'll see if he can do it. It's going to be a hard group. I'm going up against Dragon. We've also got Mars and Machine. So definitely a tough group. And if you're looking to see how which Americans are going to make it into round of 16, or at least from Group A. Definitely tune in. We want to thank our sponsors, OptiMonk, and of course our Patreon supporters for their continued support of the BSL. So we'll be going to that screen.
I don't know. Did Zero have something you wanted to say?
We're getting into our sponsors, which is OptiMonk, our main sponsor, and our Patreon supporters. Of course, at the $100 level, we have Star Lover. $50 level, Anthony Chen, Martin Harsmar, Striker, and Zero Sum. $30 level, Robert Roots, Lazardo, 86, Cuz, and Apocalypse. And at the $20 level, Nicholas Schuler, Christian Eddington, LML, Ling and Pump, Niantic, and Quark. And all you other Patreon supporters, thank you so much for supporting the BSL. And remember, $10 or above support through Patreon, you get all the replays from the BSL. So definitely think about becoming a Patreon supporter. But that's it. Me and Snipe are done. We'll be back in a few minutes. Raz and Quark are going to be on the desk, so it should be enjoyable. Hopefully I'll see you in the chat in just a few minutes.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you for the next games.